Mohammed Tanko to the Senate for confirmation as substantive Chief Justice. Buhari in his letter explained that the choice of Tanko followed recommendations by the National Judicial Council. He also sent a list of 15 special advisors for screening. Transparency International has released a survey showing that the police, legislature, and the judiciary are among the most corrupt institutions in Nigeria. The data showed that the police topped the list of most corrupt institutions in the country at 69%, followed by members of parliament and local government officials. Others were government officials, judges and magistrates, business executives, presidency, non-governmental organizations, traditional leaders, and religious leaders. Transparency International, in the publication of the 10th edition of the Global Corruption Barometer for Africa, cited corruption as a major barrier to economic growth, good governance, and basic freedoms such as freedom of speech or citizens' right to hold governments to account. It also added that corruption affects the well-being of individuals, families, and communities. The survey indicated that 47% public service users had paid a bribe to the police in the previous 12 months, while 44% had contributed to overall bribery rates in that period. The Paramarula of Rumekini community in Obiakpo local government area of River State, Eze Louis Amadi Wali, has warned one Chubuzo DK to stop parading himself as the youth president of the community. Eze Amadi Wali, who was reacting to the announcement by Chubuzo DK over the burial of a young man who was murdered in the community, cautioned members of the public to be careful of who they transact with. The Rumekini monarch said he has since dissolved DK and his group as youth leaders and appointed Peter Job as the youth president of the community, warning that anyone doing business with DK and his group does so at their own risk. On his part, the Rumekini youth president, Peter Job, insisted that Chibuzo DK is an impersonator and called on the police to investigate those causing trouble in the community. Meanwhile, the Elders Council of the University of Port Harcourt chapter of National Union of Ogoni Students have announced a planned protest against a purported symposium scheduled for today by the president of the Ogoni Student Uniport chapter, Comrade Bright Pakol. In a statement signed by the vice chairman of the Elders Council of Uniport chapter of National Union of Ogoni Students, alongside presidents and officials of Elime, Kana, Tai, and Knox unions, the aggrieved party said the protest, which will hold today by 2 p.m., is against the said symposium, which it described as unethical, as it was not agreed upon by the Congress as stipulated by the union's constitution. On the foreign scene, Sudan's ruling military council, TMC, says it has foiled an attempted military coup and at least 16 officers have been arrested. The development came as the TMC and protest movement leaders seeking a transition to democracy were in discussions over a power-sharing deal. General Jamal Omar of the TMC said in a statement broadcast live on state television that officers and soldiers from the Army and National Intelligence and Security Service, some of them retired, were trying to carry out a coup which was foiled by the regular forces. He, however, did not say when the attempt was made. Omar said security forces were pursuing additional officers who took part in plotting the attempted coup. No more details were immediately available. In entertainment, American pop star Chris Brown has announced in an Instagram post that he will be collaborating with Nigerian musician Davido. According to Brown, the song titled Blow My Mind will be released soon. In celebration, Davido responded with flame and rocket emojis. It is, however, not yet clear when the song will be released. This is not the first time the U.S. musician is collaborating with a Nigerian, as he has worked with Wizkid before on a song titled African Bad Girl. And that's the size of the package at 1 p.m. Thank you for listening. I am Kala Dakoru Batubo. Good afternoon and stay tuned to Today 95.1 FM.
news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
You deserve more from us. From Great Talk.
Is it a celebrated feat that people should be dying? Don't we have government? I think that should be the focus and not who is behind it.
And then Chief Loveday.
What else do I say? What else do I say? Killing is killing.
For the attack.
News and entertainment programs.
News update on Today 95.1 FM. Thank you for listening. Good morning.
TOFFE.
This man knows at least space.
Now you do this guy thing.
I go do this kind of thing now.
You never meet this man. You never know the best way.
Honey, now your brother.
Stay glued to this dial. Today 95.1 FM, and we will do the rest.
Excellent.
Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
Hold on, Kata. No, don't say else. Just bring 5,000 now.
Only.
Make
the Qatar day. Make the cold remain.
They worry.
You were not aware you're a thief. Now that you know that your money is coming from a thief, do you not see why you're a thief?
All right, still talking about affairs of the federal government. We understand also that the federal government...
Welcome to today's edition of Beats and Pieces in the Premium Talk and Newsway.
And it's going to be 1-1 Malata. 1-0 is never good enough.
That's where we're called the voice of the people. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Act.
Here we go.
Are you in search of a place to do all your audio recordings? From jingle, documentaries, church messages, and lots more.
Are you in search of a platform to give your business maximum exposure? Look no further. Come advertise with Today FM. With our unbeatable reach, we'll give your business the boost it so dearly needs. Visit us now at number 1 Today FM Drive off East West Road, Rumekini, Port Harcourt. Whatever the business is, we'll give it a voice.
This is today's hustle. One show that embodies objectivity. We raise the bar in examining the good, the bad, the sordid, everything that has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry all your salary and go and rent one room. Bad politics.
Everything that has to do with
You
society.
must negotiate. If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double levels. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle. Every weekday from
1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
on Today 95.1 FM.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the name is the one who made the public know about
Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your Premium Talk Radio station.
We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
This is today's hustle. One show that embodies objectivity. We raise the bar in examining the good, the bad, the sordid, everything that has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry all your salary and go and rent one room. Bad politics.
Everything that has to do with
You
society.
must negotiate. If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double levels. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle. Every weekday from
1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
on Today 95.1 FM.
All right, good afternoon. Sorry for kickstarting the show late. Bolu would not let me on the mic. He keeps beating me up about wanting to talk about some trivial topic, but let's forgive him. I'm Canada. Yes, it is today's hustle, the first half of today's hustle on your premium talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM. Yes, we are the voice of the people. And remember, the voice of the people is the voice of God. So let's get talking this afternoon. We're going to talk about some wonderful issues. We are talking for the growth of our country, our dear country, Nigeria. I mean, Nigeria seems very much divided. I keep saying this thing every day. And you and I, we have a major role to play. It's not just the government. I mean, we cannot keep waiting for the government to do stuff. We need to wake up and smell the coffee. We need to wake up really and smell the coffee. It's 2019. And it's appalling, really, really appalling that Nigeria is still ranked the way she is ranked. I mean, last time I was on Today's Hustle, that was about 2 days ago. We talked about some ranking where Nigeria still is amongst the poorest countries in the world. So when you look at these things, it breaks my heart. But I like to think that you have a role to play. For example, you who just finished eating that thing that you ate and threw the wrap or threw the banana peels or you threw the orange peel on the road, you're also constituting a menace in society. I mean, we can blame the government and Rivama for not clearing up, the waste products that we put on the median of the road. But hey, who did put the waste on the median in the first place and didn't package it well? You did. So we all have a role to play. We all have a role to play. I mean, if you pay your taxes, maybe you will be able to hold the government accountable. I mean, if you really do pay your power bills, then maybe you can have the voice to come out and hold the PHEDC accountable. I mean, we all need to hold them accountable, by the way. We do. And I wish that we could go above party lines, political party lines and religious lines. And I wish we could go above the fact that you are Yoruba, you are Igbo, you are Ijaw. I wish you could go above all of that stuff and see that poverty has no tribe. I mean, the people in the north are poor. Same with the people in the south. Same with the people in the west. Poverty has got no tribe. Poverty, corruption has got no tribe. I mean, it does not belong to any religion. It does not belong to any ethnicity. I mean, unemployment happens to someone who studied in Uniport as much as it happens to someone who studied in Unilag. True or false? True. So, hey, the people need to wake up and smell the coffee. And the power is not in the government, like I always would say. The power lies with the people. Remember, democracy is for the people, by the people, and of the people. Not for the government, not by the government, and not of the government. I mean, you voted, if there's anything like that in Nigeria. But let's just assume there's an election that does happen every 4 years. You voted and you elected certain people in the office. Those people work for you. Those people are paid with taxpayers' money. I mean, with the tax that you pay. So those people work for you. Demand for the dividends of democracy. And that's my message this morning. I mean, that is my message did I say morning? This afternoon to you. That is my message. So good afternoon once again and welcome to today's also. I am Karada and I'm not alone in the studio. I've got Bulu and we will be looking at some trending issues, some issues that have made the headlines on various newspaper pages. And first on our list is what again?
Transparency International has released a survey. And
you don't want to talk about it? Why you come on, where's your volume?
They say that Transparency International, right? They are this international. They kind of like rate corruption in different countries and societies.
All right.
And now they say that in Nigeria, the police, legislator, and judiciary are amongst the most corrupt institutions in Nigeria.
Interesting. All right. Now, I'm looking.
Okay. Now, I would like you guys to know that I didn't just call them, randomly. I ranked them. It wasn't a rank. That is, the police are the most corrupt.
Yeah.
Followed by the legislature.
I was actually going to read
the judiciary.
I was actually going to read the bulletin so people can actually understand
it better.
So, according to this report, Transparency International has released a survey showing that your very own friend. They say the police is your friend.
Yes,
your very own friend.
Police is your friend.
The police, and then of course our representatives, the legislature, and the hope of the common man.
Yes,
the judiciary. Are among the most corrupt institutions in Nigeria. What does that say then? All right, the data show that the police topped the list of most corrupt institutions in the country at 69%.
Wow.
I mean, if I had 69% in JAM. That would mean I've passed, right?
Yes, of course.
I mean, I've probably getting
almost an A.
Yeah, almost an A. Anyways, they got 69%, followed by members of parliament, your very own representatives, yeah. And then, of course, local government officials. I've always asked local government chairman. No offense. I mean, some of you might be listening. No offense to you, but what do you people really do? Really? Anyways, others were government officials, judges and magistrates, business executives, presidency. Very interesting. I like that one. Non-governmental organizations, traditional leaders. And of course, our very own religious leaders, pastors, imams. And then, yeah. All right, so Transparency International, in the publication of the 10th edition of the Global Corruption Barometer for Africa, cited corruption as the major barrier to economic growth, good governance, and basic freedoms. It also added that corruption affects the well-being of individuals, families, and communities. The survey indicated that 47% public service users had paid a bribe to the police. I do agree with that. In the previous 12 months, no, I don't agree with that. I think more. I think we should be like 58% or 68%. No offense to police officers,
no
anyways.
offense to them.
And this one says, while 44% had contributed to overall bribery rates in that period. So, when last did you pay bribe, Abulu? Sincerely, when last did you pay bribe?
To be honest, I don't think I've ever paid bribe, but I don't want to sound like.
So when you were in school and you were trying to check your result and you went to exams and record department and those people were trying to tell you that
okay, that is true.
That's
bribe doesn't have to be monetary. You understand? So yeah, it could be any other thing. So if
you can say that,
yeah. So, but when it comes to Nigerian police, excuse me, I think it's monetary.
I'm not just talking about the police. No, I want generally. When last you in Nigeria? I mean, this is Nigeria. When last did you pay bribe?
When I went to get my certificate in school, I paid bribe.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking. So I should call the police to come arrest you?
No,
it's a crime.
When last did you pay bribe?
I've never paid bribe. I see. That's what you don't. I hate oppression. I hate oppression. Okay. I think. Okay.
All right.
Okay. You just hit me. You know how your brain can just bring back things here, man. I was driving one time and I wasn't carrying my driver's license, and the police stopped me. The police. Your friend, my friends, and I'm like, just take this for your drinks,
For Coca-Cola. I wasn't bribe,
but that's the only time. I've never done it ever again because I was annoyed.
You were pissed with yourself.
I was pissed with what happened then.
Okay, all right.
But that was so many years ago. That was so many years ago. So that's so many years ago.
Okay, but now some people like to put the blame on citizens who try to give the police bribe in the first place because. There's a school of thought that says if you do not offer them bribe, like if every one of us, if we do not offer the police bribe, then they wouldn't have an option. It will reduce drastically. I mean, bribe collection by policemen. But now we're not even talking about just the police. It's with what Transparency International says. Basically, almost all Nigerians.
No. See, I don't even want to focus on that. I want to focus on this is where I want to focus on. I want to focus on institutions. Now, the last time I was on this show, you and I we were having a discussion. We were conversing, and I said something, and I said that you need systems for a society to work. You need systems. So, bribery is even done in the United States.
Yes.
Bribery is done in the United Kingdom. But you see the difference between those societies and this society is that they have systems that work. So when the system indicates that, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom has committed an offense, when they say the Prime Minister is corrupt, bribery is not just the only corruption.
Yes.
When they say the Prime Minister is corrupt, she goes in for it because there's a system that works.
Most times they even resign, even before.
Thank you very much. Yes. But now when you look at our society, I mean, look at the judiciary, the last hope of the common man corrupts. The police supposedly securing the lives and properties of citizens corrupt.
The ones who make the laws.
The one not just making laws, the one who is saddled with the responsibility to checkmate the executive and thank you, I like that word, to checkmate the excesses of every other arm of government, is also finding himself in corruption,
even in the top 3.
So where is the hope? Where is the hope of a Nigerian now? Where does Canada from Canada?
And where does Boluat from Nigeria?
Where's our hope? Really?
Who
do we run to?
By the way, the reps have dismissed the allegations. The House of Representatives dismissed the allegations as lacking details to prove the corruption claim. A member of the ad hoc committee on media, Mr. Bamidele Salam, has said that, or he argued rather, that the TI, that is Transparency International, reportedly mentioned Parliament and not National Assembly. Now that is his argument.
All right. Now, let me pause you there. Okay, please, because we're out of time. Let me pause you there. If someone comes up with a report and says, of all the OAPs in River State, the OAPs at Today FM are the most corrupt, are the most what's the word? I need nepotic and tribalistic. I'm looking for very controversial terms and unethical OAPs in River State. Would you not come out and defend Today FM OAPs? Let's be frank.
See,
it's a simple question.
Yes.
Would you or would you not?
Come out and defend, but I wouldn't say Canada, I wouldn't say that you are wrong or the report is wrong because you mentioned OAPs and I'm not an OAP. I'm a presenter. I wouldn't say.
Sorry. What's the difference? Explain. Teach me.
That's what the House of Representatives did. They said the TRA report mentioned Parliament and not the National
Sorry,
Assembly.
what are they?
That's
What are they again? They are parliamentarians.
That is their argument. So you have to understand.
Anyways, we're not going to spend all our time arguing about whether they did or did not say. We also have another story, and it has to do with your president.
Our president.
Okay, our president. He's talking again.
Okay.
My president, since he doesn't want to agree to this president, my president, he's talking again, and he said that President Mahmoud Buhari. What did I just say now? He said that. Anyways, President Mahmoud Buhari has said that we Nigerians, I mean you and I, we are trying to stampede him into releasing his list of ministers.
Stampede, did you?
and I'm like, when I read it, I was sleeping. I was sleepy when I read it, and I slapped myself awake.
You slapped yourself?
Yeah.
Canada, you slapped yourself?
Yeah, I did actually. I'm like, man, what's this guy saying? What's this?
Well,
I mean, this is like this is May 29.
You can't start counting from May.
Wait. I can't start counting
from
May.
Let's start counting from May.
You know why I can't start counting? You know why I can start counting from May?
I'm saying you should even count from when you won the elections. I
want to start counting from May.
Okay, let's even
I want to start counting from May because that was when the tenure officially started. So let's say May, the National Assembly, the 9th National Assembly has not resumed, proceedings.
Yeah.
So my point is, May 29, he could have had that list already. He could have had that list already.
May 29.
You know why?
By the way.
You know why I say so?
Yeah.
In this statement that the president made, he said in 2015, the majority of ministerial appointees were not known to him
personally.
Which is another round of discussions, by the way, that will say that when they pick these people, politics is involved.
Nepotism and all that.
It's not done to represent the people. It's not done for... And I know I've had this argument so much on radio. I mean, what happened to the technocrats in our society? Why would you have someone who's a lawyer, who's got a certificate in law, to be handling departments or ministries like
works,
power? Where are the technocrats? I mean, this shows that Nigeria... I'm not a prophet of doom. I never want to be a prophet of doom. But I think Nigeria... is a disaster waiting to happen. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry if I offended you. But really, I mean, look at it. I mean, how can the number one citizen come out and say, and hey, APC members, I'm not a PDP member, because I know some of you will call in and say, hey, PDP has paid you, right? No. But the truth is, let's look at this critically, holistically. Come on, open your minds and let's see this. How can you have ministers, people who are supposedly said to be working with you? I mean, these people would be handling ministries, and you did not know them personally. I mean,
it's
when I listen to that statement, really. I'm not expecting him to know everybody, by the way. But when I listen to that statement, it means that he could not vouch for them. That is what he was saying. I mean, if I'm going to employ you, I would do my background check. I will make sure that I do a detailed investigation. I mean, due diligence. But when I look at that statement, it's my opinion, by the way, I feel like he did not do much of that. Maybe he just go, okay.
It's quite careless.
Maybe it's okay. She studied the University of okay.
If he did
if he did that, Kemi Adeosun would not have been
exactly. So that means he didn't even do that.
All right.
People.
All right. But that's another angle to it, by the way. But this time, this is where my concern is. This is where my focus is. He has come out to say, and I love it when politicians talk, by the way, that the reason why there's a delay is because he wants to know, or he wants this time the ministers to be from the people he actually knows
personally.
And I'm wondering, Kalada, if you were governor tonight, I mean, not now, I mean, not tomorrow, I mean, tonight, if I just wake up and they say, oh, Kalada, you're going to be governor of whatever state, I don't know. I'm not saying I want to usurp Governor Wike, but let's just say I'm governor. I know people that I would put in certain departments and parastatals. And trust me, some of them are not my friends. Some of them are not people. I know people already. For you, former head of state or former military head of state, former petroleum chairman of PTF, chairman of PTF, one would know that you already know people in governance. You already know people. I mean, you've worked with people in the public service already who probably must have been retired by now, who can handle majority of these ministries. Really, how hard is it? I mean, I don't have a problem with him wanting to choose from, his friends, his acquaintances, and I hope it's not nepotic. Yeah, I hope it's not nepotic at all. But I don't have a problem with that. But I have a problem that why will it take so much time?
Yeah.
So much time choosing from people you already know.
That's the point. And it says only tested and trusted people would make his ministerial.
Exactly.
Now, when you say tested and trusted, does that mean that former ministers, because that's what you mean by, if that's what you mean by tested, that is, does that mean former ministers would be included in the list?
Of course.
Or that some people would continue in their capacities even if they didn't do too well during the first term?
Now, when you say former minister, I'm sorry, tested and trusted, I need you to go back to May 28 when the president said that majority of the people in his cabinet will return. And then he also said that is where the question is.
So why is there a delay?
He also said that every minister that served in the first tenure did absolutely well. He said so.
Absolutely well.
Yeah, he said so. He said the reason why he could not change any one of them was because they all did exceptionally well. So I'm not here to criticize what he said. He is the president of Nigeria. I respect the office of the president. I mean, if I wanted to be president today, I would not be able to be president because I'm not that popular. And I respect the office. I mean, it's an honorable office, and I don't take that office lightly. I don't joke with that office. As a matter of fact, when people do criticize him, I'm always the first to defend the office of the president of Nigeria. But the truth is, when you say tested and trusted, when you say a lot of people will return, I'm wondering why it is taking so long.
Exactly.
Last time, 6 months, and we entered recession. Are we learning or are we going back to... okay, you know what? Time is fast spent. I'm going to go straight to the last story for this section of the show. Bolu keeps distracting me. I don't know why he does that. But hey. Now, you probably had the news yesterday where it says a family of seven died due to generating sets.
The fumes.
Yeah, generating sets, fumes, right? And I'm thinking, a lot of us do the same thing. I mean, we let our generating set run very close to our windows or our neighbor's windows, and this is some kind of health pollution that we are not aware of. I know some of you would argue, is it our fault? The government no one provide light for us now. We go provide light for ourselves. And you have a point. Trust me, you do have a point. I mean, Nigerians provide almost everything for themselves. You provide water, you provide gas, you provide literally everything for yourself. And I mean, big ups to Nigerians all over Nigeria. Big ups to you. You pay your taxes and yet you still provide these things for yourself. But hey, how can we begin to develop the habit, the culture of making sure that we take care of ourselves? Because, I mean, it affects me every day. I would not lie to you. My neighbors, they put on their generating set, and majority of the time I have to sleep with all of my windows shut. I mean, I have 2 windows in my room. one generating set at one window, the other generating set at the other window. I also have my own generating set. So how do I sleep, in such a situation? But you see, it's something that we have taken lightly for too long. This is not the first story where we've heard that, a full family died due to carbon monoxide. This is not the first time that we're hearing that, the family did not wake up because they had their generating set on. First of all, government, we need to do more. We need to do more. We need to do more. Government, give us power supply. Power supply is very important. It helps businesses grow. It helps the economy grow. If a young person who is jobless has continuous power supply, it might create something online because his phone will always be fully charged. No, jokes apart. We need to think outside the box. We have water, River Niger, all those places. We can use, I hear we can use it to produce a lot of power. I'm not into electrical engineering, but I hear that we have a lot of gas. Gas turbines here and there. Come on. But while we're waiting for the government to fix up, the power system, how much orientation do you have on the proper use of generating sets? Do you know that the place you've positioned your generating sets can actually be a nuisance to yourself and to your neighbors? So these are three issues we want to be discussing on the first half of today's also. Bolu and myself, Kalada, on the show. Time is really fast spent. We have about 23 minutes left on the show, and it's left for you now to call in and contribute, give your 2 cents, give your opinions on the issues raised. 0817-000-0951 and 0810-951-0951. Your text messages can go to the number 0701-933-9962. Please, I beg you, be constructive with your arguments. No name calling, no assassination of character. Let's be law abiding. I know. Some of you are PDP members, some of you are ABC members, but I still need you to be constructive with your arguments and your debates. And let's not do hate speeches. Let's not be tribalistic, but let's be Nigerians. All right, 95.1 FM. Hello.
Yeah, Canada.
Please turn down the volume if you're ready to say, please. Thank you very much.
I can hear you. My name is Chima Husi.
All right, Chima, what story interests you this afternoon?
Yes, I want to react to the Transparency International.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, Canada, I think it's not clear the cry of the Nigerians on how the government officials are the ones who the country is meant for. It is not clear from the judiciary, the police, and the lawmaker especially. It's unfortunate. And we have said it over and over again that our lawmakers are taking much. These people are living lavishly. And yet, I don't know what this one is waiting, the revenue mobilization. There has to be downward review. At least more.
Chima.
Hello?
Chima.
Yes.
So yes. For you, it is the take-home package of the legislators that is your problem, right?
Yes, it's too much. That is why that is it.
Is that why they are on the most corrupt list in Nigeria?
It's not big, but they are taking too much. You understand? It is corruption. You understand? When you are taking too much, what you are working for, it is corruption. So how do we? But
you remember that the Senate president came out and said that the legislators are underpaid.
Canada, excuse me.
Am I the one who said it? I'm not the one who said it.
No. You should have said how much we have paid. You should have made it.
Yeah, clear. He said the senator earned 750,000 naira. He said it.
Canada, you know that is not true.
I've never been a senator, so I don't know. I've never been a senator, so I don't know.
Canada, on judiciary. Now, somebody will come out and tell people that he was sipping tea in his backyard, and people came to call him to come and rule them. Then after you rule, you were called to come and answer questions on how you spend the people's money. And you will go to judiciary. A judiciary will issue an injunction restraining an institution from investigating a man who has ruled.
Interesting.
And there's a question on the way you have ruled.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think Nigerians have to rise up. That I have never thought that indices. It's clear. These are the most corrupt people because they take.
But okay, fine. You talk about judiciary. You talk about National Assembly. That's the legislative arm. What about the presidency? What about local government officials? What about?
Listen, Canada.
Yeah.
Everywhere. You understand? I mean, I don't have time to explain to them.
All right.
How about the police? The police, because you are there.
I'm not there.
We're passing through every day. No. You know. Now we have security challenge in Nigeria, everywhere worldwide, especially the police. In East West Road, and you see every day people are being kidnapped. We have the security men everywhere. What they are concentrating, the sacrifice of the protection of life and property have been not the sacrifice in the altar of extortion. And Nigerians are crying every day. You understand? So it's clear. So that thing, this is whatever voted it. It's clear.
All right. Thank you very much. You might have got to go to all the calls right about now. 0817-000-0951. Keep your calls coming in, and 0810-951-0951. This is today's Hustle with Canada and Bolu. All right, 951 FM.
Canada. Greetings. Please let me halt you immediately. When you become governor, you cannot. You understand?
I don't plan on becoming governor. Don't say when, if, please.
No, yes. I know you are saying that. See, the people, a lot of people don't understand politics.
Oh.
The governor, the River State governor, you see there, people have worked and ensured that he becomes governor. When he becomes governor, he has to.
So he has to pay them back.
Yeah.
So how are we going forward then? If I don't want, that is why I will never become governor, because I don't want people to work for me to become governor. I want the people, the indigents of River State, to work for me to become governor. And so when I become governor, I'm paying them back with the dividends of democracy. That's the truth.
Canada, it's not as easy as you are saying.
Then I don't want to play politics.
You cannot on your own become anything without the help of people. You cannot. And there are people who are experts in this thing.
Lawson, let me ask you a question. Are you saying that Kala Dakuru January Basubo cannot become a governor if the people of River State, I called my full name to state that I am a Rivers man. I am from Buguma in Kalabari Kingdom. Are you saying if the people in River State, from Ogoni, from Okrika, from Kalabari, all of the various parts come out and say we want Canada to become governor, Canada will not become governor? Is that what you're saying?
If you don't have those who will mobilize the Okrikas, the Ogonis, the Andonis,
but I have mobilized them myself.
You can't. No, you yourself can't go and you. Of course, you are from let's say Kalabari. You can work on Kalabari. The other areas, there are key people who will mobilize it for you. They can either mobilize it for you or mobilize it for someone else if you are not ready. So if you don't carry them along, you won't even see second term. So what the president is saying is that he definitely, these ministers you see, it's not just him. You understand? It's not just him. All those that have worked will also bring people.
Then there's problem. Because that's not the right way to go. There's problem. Because this is a situation of godfatherism.
That is how it is in Nigeria. If you talk of it, well, I don't know, but in Nigeria, people help you to get there, and when you get there, you have to. Yeah, so that's Nigeria. Then leave that one. See, I've always said it. If you are not living in a flat fence, so you cannot have generator.
All right.
This carbon dioxide has been killing people.
Should we have government officials going around and seizing generating sets in places where they are not properly kept or something? Because this is becoming a hazard, rather.
No, leave the government officials. For you to have a generator, you must have a generator house away from the building.
Interesting, yeah. True.
Away from the building. You cannot be in a yard house, and you want generator.
But then again, you need light.
Yes, you need light, but You cannot, if you want to have a generator, you must go to a flat. A flat where, you understand, your generator, a lot of people I see they in a yard house, they have generator. Sometimes in the passage long, other houses are there, they have generator. That carbon monoxide is very dangerous.
Yes, it is.
You can kill easily.
It's what made me fall sick actually last week. What made me lose my voice actually, truthfully.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you want to own a generator and you think you are a big man, you go to a flat away from everybody, get a generator house, and then the generator will be on there so that you don't kill anybody.
All right.
It is wrong to get a generator when you are with so many neighbors. You will kill someone.
All right.
Even that your own generator. You also said you have generator.
Yes,
Please
I do.
start it up, Canada.
I will. I'm going green. I want to get solar. I'm going green.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in, Lossie. Thank you very much. You worry too much. Keep your calls coming in. We have text messages, right, Bolu?
Yes, we do.
All right, let's have them.
This one says, hi, Canada, Dakoru.
Just go ahead. Leave that guy. Leave the guy. Yeah, just go ahead.
It says, yes, the corruption rating of the police is 100% more of what the police see. I am an insider. Before you are being transferred to, it says, juicy states as a junior officer, you have to pay like 100,000 naira. That message was from Mr. Jumbo. This one says, this has shown that President Muhammadu Buhari. I'm having a problem with the.
Okay, we can have that. We can have that. No, 95.1 FM. No hate speeches.
What's your name?
All right, what's your name? What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good afternoon to you.
Albert.
Sorry?
Albert,
please, can we have some volume? I can barely hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear, so go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I want to talk about the Nigeria police.
You want to talk about Transparency International. Okay, go ahead.
But last year, when the former IG was on seat, when the ranking was out about the Nigeria police system, that Nigeria police is the worst police force in the world, they denied that. Yes, now I'm telling you that I will not speak because wherever my dad is a top police officer. I always say that in his front, that Nigerian police is bad. Now, if you can never see when something happens in the street, you will see they'll pick innocent people to the station. After they've done the investigation, they will not allow them to live freely. You will still pay money before you go. Is that how police are supposed to work? In USA, you can't do that in US, even in England. I've been over 13 countries in worldwide. I've never seen things like that. Even in Nigeria, we get to see some bad things. So I think it's a wake-up call for the Nigerian government entirely to work and see how they structure our police force, because it's bad. It's bringing bad light to us.
So wait, sorry, let me get it right. You think the best way to fight corruption amongst the police is to strengthen the police force by what exactly?
Definitely, I think it should be totally overhauled, because
when you say totally overhauled, now make me understand. Are you saying that you chase all the police officers away?
They didn't do proper screening because there are a little bad eggs.
Okay, fine. So are you saying when you say overall, I want to understand, because when you say overall, it means you change entirely the system. Are you saying all of the staff or staffers of the police force should be chased away?
The entire system is bad entirely.
All right.
So they need to watch and see, screen them before you get them to the police force. Some persons are using their uniform to cover up their identity.
Interesting.
Some of them are criminals before they run to the police. I understand what I'm telling you. My dad is a top rank officer. So I always say that to him. I'm not afraid of anybody.
All right.
I speak to him and I want to speak.
All right.
I'm an advocate of truth. So if you don't mind, I will tell you. I always let my dad to know that even though I grew up, I have a son today, I won't let them go join that. I pray that they go and join Constant. So I don't like the Nigeria police committee. So it's bad. So they should check the system before they get into the recruitment. They don't do that. They just drag somebody to the.
All right, but the police is not the only one on the list. I mean, we've got local government chairman, we've got
the executive.
Exactly.
The percentage.
Oh yeah, you got it right. Yeah.
So that. How will you see your officer? You dress very well with your uniform.
All right.
And check for you to collect money from somebody. Is that no crime? You're committing crime.
All right.
So I don't like that.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Albert. Thank you very much. We've got to go to other callers right about now. All right, 95.1 FM. I lost that call. Keep your calls coming in. 0817-000-0951 and 0810-951-0951. You can send in your text messages to the number 0701-933-9962. 95.1 FM. Lost that one. 95.1 FM. Good afternoon. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is Chris. I'm calling.
Oh, Chris. Good afternoon to you once again. What is your? Well, first of all, what story has caught your attention?
I want to dwell on this Amnesty International.
Transparency, actually, not amnesty. Transparency.
Yeah. See, at times this is not the first time these people have released reports. But the problem we are having is that we don't make use of the report. Instead of making use of the report, like what you see now. House have come out to debunk the system. Instead of them to go back to their house, it's when you say that I am a criminal. I don't need to argue with. I'll have to go to my house and think if I am a criminal.
And check how you are a criminal. But you see, they have said that these people did not come up with good details. If you're saying I'm a criminal, show me how I am a criminal.
Okay, let me give my own judgment. It's not them that will come out. For example, now, you mentioned about local government. Do you know that the local government is the worst people that I have been, even the corruption that is there? Look at what the local government is doing. They will come and collect money as their own revenue. They will tell you money. Listen.
I'm listening to you.
Yes. They will ask you money for environmental, you pay for environmental, but they come to you in front of your shop. They are collecting money for your shop rent and the revenue. The gutter there. No, I know when local government going about digging all those gutter, removing sand and all those rubbish on the gutter, but they will collect money from you. You will be the one to see enter gutter to clean. If you don't clean it, they will still prosecute you. Use Nigerian police.
I see. So you're saying that you already paid money. Wait, Chris. You're saying that you already paid money for the environment to be clean, and they don't come to clean the environment, and yet
they will not come and clean
interesting.
They will still come again with Nigerian police.
Thank you very much for that one. I needed that one.
Why now? Why are they behaving like this?
All right.
Local government are the worst people I have ever seen. Them and the NEPA.
All right.
Will not give you
But no worry. Now, PhD is no longer a public institution, so it did not make it to the list. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling in, Chris. I've got to go to all the callers. Do we have text messages there?
Yes, we do.
All right.
This one says, men and officers of the Nigerian police heard this report. They are listening to you right now. And the bad eggs, which is up to about 85% of them, are laughing when we hold programs like this. He also says the Nigerian police is... Okay, I'll cut you short there because no hate speeches, please.
What's his name?
No name.
Now, gentleman who sent in that text, that is why I am a journalist. They can be laughing, but I'll talk about it, and I'll keep talking about it, and I will keep talking about it, and I'll keep talking about it, and I'll keep talking about it, and I will keep talking about it until something is done. I will keep talking about it. Okay. 95.1 FM.
Hello?
Hi, good afternoon to you. What's your name? Where are you calling me from?
Well, let me start by greeting you.
DK.
Polo and Canada, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
DK, welcome. DK, welcome.
Okay. Let me just start from where Lawson left off.
All right.
I think Lawson is more realistic in issue of attaining political office.
Than I am, right?
For you to be a politician in Nigeria, you must be on ground. You must have structure.
But my question is that the right thing to do?
Exactly.
Is having structure the right thing to do? Should the people you want to go and represent not be the structure? Should they not be the structure that every politician should have? Election is all about the votes that you amass from the people, not from the politicians.
Hold on now.
I'm holding on. I'm here.
You are dwelling on the idea, forgetting about the real.
I see.
To be is not always the same thing as what is obtainable. I'm telling you what is obtainable in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
You must be on ground. Whether being on ground imply having talks or courses or bandwidth to support you,
They are part of the structure.
Oh my God. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So that is it. Let me just move away from that to talk about corruption in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
You see, when institutions like the police, judiciary, legislatures rank most as the corrupt institution,
Yes.
where is the hope for democracy?
I wonder.
Because these are the important institutions of the state that regulate democracy. So how can democracy work? Since Nigeria won gold medal in corruption from Transparency International from years ago.
I like the way you put it. Nigeria won gold medal. All right.
Of course, scoring number one. So what has changed? Not much. Not much has changed.
All right.
You see, Karl Marx, you said that philosophers have interpreted the world in different ways.
Right.
What is left for them is to take action and change it. Our local man, at least Nigerian man, Fela, used to say, so much talk, no action. So that is what we are facing. We are talking without the action.
So what action do you think I should take? I mean, I know I talk about it a lot. So what action do you think I should take?
I think you're already
Of course,
taking
you
an
are
action.
doing your own part by raising the people consciousness.
All right.
Before any change can take place, that awareness, that consciousness must be woken.
All right.
So you are doing your own part.
All right.
It's not left for the Nigerian masses to rise up.
All right.
You cannot think of going to heaven without wanting to die. Don't go to heaven with a dear body. We don't want to make sacrifice necessary for a change. South African ANC in those days did not just keep quiet. Many of them died for to end apartheid.
So are you saying many of me should die before I get the change?
Not necessarily to die. There are many ways of carrying out revolution these days.
All right.
See what happened in Algeria, Tunisia, and many other places.
And Sudan, yeah.
The people cannot just continue to keep quiet and be talking.
All right.
Otherwise, it will just amount to mere ranting.
All right. All right.
Coming to the ministerial race.
DK, okay, quickly.
Very brief.
60 seconds. I'm counting now.
I think that the president is economical with the truth.
All right.
I think that they are just waiting for those who will fail at the electoral tribunal to join and form the government. I think that is why they are delaying. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in there. All right. I lost that call. I keep losing that call. But we have text message, yeah?
Yeah, this one says, good day, Kalada. The Transparency International ratings with respect to the police is right. And I think that the second most corrupt is the executive arm because of the cabal in Aso Villa. That message was from Fine Face Unye.
Fine Face, it's been a while. How you doing? 95.0, I lost that call again. Do we have more text? Yeah,
yes,
please let's do that before I go back to the phone
the
call.
Nigerian police cannot change. Are you telling me that the IG and Commissioner of Police are not aware of what their men are doing?
Interesting.
They are the ones that said that. But the people have also said that. Is the IG not aware that policemen on the road take bribes? Is it possible
remember
that the
when I
IG
said there is
isn't
no
aware?
roof without a foundation? There is no roof without a foundation. Before I become IGP, I was once a rank and file. All right, I've got one.
Mr. Law says, Mr. Law says it is advised to keep your generators away from the windows and the doors. And those who live in flats do not have generator houses anywhere except those that live in the private houses. That message is from Mr. Law.
Mr. Law, good to hear from you. 95.1 FM.
Hello, Kalada. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. What's your name and where you calling from?
I'm calling for Yanagua Biafra.
All the way.
Good afternoon to you.
What's your name?
I like you.
I like you. It's been a while. I like you. How you doing?
I'm fine.
All right, welcome. I like you too. All right, let's do this. What's your contribution in 60 seconds?
Yeah, I have to thank you very much for this program.
All right, thank you very much.
Most times, when I don't even do calls, at least, as I'm listening to it, I'm always enjoying it.
You listen to me? Oh, God, I'm blushing.
Even I don't call, I listen. So may God bless you for that.
Thank you very much.
God will give you a very long rope.
Amen. It's not a religious program. Can we go straight because we're out of time? We're really out of time now.
All right, no problem. Yeah, actually, you see, let me react on Mr. President's speech that the National House of Assembly is giving him a tough time to. So let me go straight to the point.
Yeah, please do.
It's actually for the president that ruled this country said that the first minister which they were appointed, he didn't know them.
Mm.
That is very wrong
Statement.
wrong decision which he has taken.
Okay.
I believe this time around, if he really knows that those ministers which he have appointed before, he doesn't really know them.
Hello.
Let him know them and appoint them.
All right.
Demand his work for now.
All right.
Let us Nigeria give him a second chance. That is my own take of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling in all the way from Yanagua. But that's the much we can take on the first half of this show. We're going to go for halftime with the news update. When we return, conversations continue. I am Kalada, and with me in the studio, is Bolu. I was going to say was Bolu. It's Bolu. But hey, let me bring you the news update. Stay tuned.
Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon. Here's the news update at 2 on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kala Dakuru Batubo. Social and human rights groups, including the Coalition Against Corruption, the Yoruba group, Afenifere, and Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability have supported the recent report from the Transparency International survey showing that the police, the legislature, and the judiciary are among the most corrupt institutions in Nigeria, saying the report was a true reflection of Nigeria. But both chambers of the nation's National Assembly have faulted the report. The House of Representatives dismissed the allegations as lacking details to prove the corruption claim, while the chairman, Senate Ad hoc Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Adedayo Adeyeye, said the report of the TI was based on perception. He said the Ninth Senate was doing everything possible to change the negative perception of the people towards the parliament. Corps Marshal, Federal Road Safety Corps, Boboye Oyeyemi, has said the Corps, in conjunction with other security agencies, will from August 1 go all out against all motorcycle and tricycle operators that are unregistered and without a driver's license. He said the enforcement was in line with statutory traffic rules and regulations that mandated all operators of motorcycles and tricycles to obtain a Class A driver's license and be registered to pay road tax. Speaking in Ibadan during the Road Safety Stakeholders Workshop organized by the University of Wolverhampton, United Kingdom, Oyeyemi vowed that the full weight of the law will be brought upon all motorcycle and tricycle operators who fail to comply with the directive. The new Commissioner of Police in River State, Mustafa Dandwara, has warned cultists and other criminal elements to relocate from the state or be ready to face the war irrespective of their hideouts. CP Dandwara said he is in River State to fight crime and criminality to a standstill with the use of Operation Puff Adder, which he said is in line with the directives by the Inspector General of Police. The Commissioner of Police, as part of his riot act against criminals, said he has the mandate to fight the monster of cultism, kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, and pipeline vandalism be devil in the state. CP Dandwara warned that the state will no longer be conducive for criminals, saying that his arrival will see the decimation of criminals on the east-west and Elele-Owerri roads, noting that River State is strategic to the economic well-being of the country, which makes it compulsory to curtail the security challenge that will naturally crop up. The new Commissioner of Police assured that the command under his watch will rest on intelligence-led policing, constructive engagement, and community partnership, recovery of illegal firearms, as well as zero tolerance on corruption and respect for sanity of human lives. CP Dandwara, while promising to remain focused and a political professional in discharge of his responsibilities, also called on political gladiators and other stakeholders in the state to come together to move the state forward. Correspondent Uchende Ojowo reports that the Commissioner of Police read out the Riot Act against criminals during his first meeting with divisional police officers across the state held at the officers' mess at Forces Avenue, GRA, Port Harcourt. The paramount ruler of Rumekini community in Obiakpo local government area of River State, Eze Louis Amadi Wali, has warned one Chibuzo DK to stop parading himself as the youth president of the community. Eze Amadi Wali, who was reacting to the announcement by Chibuzo DK over the burial of a young man who was murdered in the community, cautioned members of the public to be careful of who they transact with. The Rumekini monarch said he has since dissolved DK and his group as youth leaders and appointed Peter Job as the youth president of the community, warning that anyone doing business with DK and his group does so at their own risk. On his part, the Rumekini youth president Peter Job insisted that Chibuzo DK is an impersonator and called on the police to investigate those causing trouble in the community. Meanwhile, the Elders Council of the University of Port Harcourt chapter of National Union of Ogoni Students have announced a planned protest against a purported symposium scheduled for today by the president of the Ogoni Student Uniport chapter, Comrade Bride Bakol. In a statement signed by the vice chairman of the Elders Council of Uniport chapter of National Union of Ogoni Students, alongside presidents and officials of Eleme, Kana, Tai, and Knox unions, the aggrieved party said the protest, which will hold today by 2 p.m., is against the said symposium, which it described as unethical, as it was not agreed upon by the Congress as stipulated by the union's constitution. On the foreign scene, despite opposition from the United States, Turkey has received the first parts of a Russian S-400 missile defense system. According to the Turkish Defense Ministry, the shipment arrived in an airbase in the capital, Ankara, today. Turkey and the U.S. are NATO allies, but Turkey has also been establishing closer links with Russia. This latest move will, however, anger the United States, which has warned that Turkey cannot have both the S-400 anti-aircraft defense system and U.S. F-35 fighter jets. And that's the size of the news updates for 2 p.m. I am Kala Dakuru Batubo. Thank you for listening and stay tuned to Today 95.1 FM. Today also continues after the break. Stay tuned.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Today 95.1
Yes,
FM,
morning.
good morning.
My name is Ifeanyi. I'm calling you from... Hello?
Yes, Today 95.1 FM, good morning.
My name is William. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, William from Port Harcourt, go ahead.
Talk radio.
You have a right to say no, right? All right.
I'm calling from Uniport.
Okay, thank you so much from Yenagua.
We are the station that needs no introduction. Of course, you know, we give the best in news, sports.
You like football, right?
Entertainment, politics. In fact, call it talk.
Yes, we know there's a lot you want to hear, and that is why we talk about everything.
Talk radio.
We're right before you.
Are you in search of a place to do all your audio recordings? From jingle, documentaries, church messages, and lots more.
Are you in search of a platform to give your business maximum exposure? Look no further. Come advertise with Today FM. With our unbeatable reach, we'll give your business the boost it so dearly needs. Visit us now at number 1 Today FM Drive off East West Road, Rumekini, Port Harcourt. Whatever the business is, we'll give it a voice.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the alarm is the one who made the public know about
Well, good afternoon and welcome to the world news on your premium talk radio station.
We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
Are you in search of a place to do all your
West Road, Rumekini, Port Harcourt? Whatever the business is, we'll give it a voice.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
It's that time on radio. Let's take you into the life and times of men and women who inspire, role models who have shaped the world.
Ambrose Folorunsho Ali, born 22nd September 1929, died 22nd September 1989. Ambrose Folorunsho Ali was a Nigerian medical professor who served as executive governor of the defunct Bendel State, now the states of Edo and Delta, between 1979 and 1989. Ambrose Ali was born in Idoani, Ondo State.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
All right, good afternoon to you once again. It's 11 minutes gone past the hour of 2 p.m. Yes, Calendar is still in the studio, and it is the second half of Today's Hustle. Today's Hustle is a program that runs from 1 p.m. up until 3 p.m., Mondays through Fridays. And we get to talk about a lot of issues pertaining national growth and development. And we just finished talking about some trending stories. We talked about generating set fumes. We talked about the ministerial list, and then we talked about Transparency's International Transparency International's report. Oh my, English can be hard sometimes. Yeah, trust me. That being said, we want to move on. They discussed, and this time, I am very much concerned. I've always been concerned about Nigeria, and I am very much concerned about Nigeria's financial strength. I'm very much concerned about Nigeria's financial strength. Now, yesterday, when the news was being read, I was reading the news yesterday, I saw a story where, EFCC came out and said that, EFCC in Rivers State came out and said that over 80 billion naira over the last 3.5 years, was recovered. Over 80 billion naira. Now, I need you to also understand that they was the forfeiture issue, the one that what's his name now, the outgoing, or lastly the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Onoge. He had the one that he forfeited, those dollars and monies that were found in his account. We had the former first lady forfeiting money. So I'm even thinking it's even way more than 80 billion. Now, of course, we even had Abacha. I'm very sure we'll be having. I've not even started talking and the lines are buzzing. What are you people? We should wait. Let me talk. But anyways, what do you call it now? Abacha's loot was also returned to the nation. All of this monies, and then it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder. How many of you remember the budget for 2019? That also caused a lot of brouhaha. We were up here on radio talking, and people were saying, why was the budget not released in time? It did cause a lot of problems, yeah? Many of you were talking about, how many of you remember the budget? Now, remember that budget, I'm trying to get the budget figures here now. Remember that budget, I can't remember how much we totally budgeted, but in that budget, Nigeria's debts, I think, was about 2.14. The debt service, we're going to be paying 2.14 trillion naira as, debt service. We're going to be servicing our debts. Remember that? We talked about it also. In the last 3 months, it will interest you to know that I think we have, am I getting, I think I'm getting it right. I think we have incurred about 587 billion naira debts in the last 3 months. Now, what is our total revenue? Our total revenue for a year, I think, is it for a year? I think so. For a month, I think it's 7 trillion naira.
7 trillion.
Yes. But you see, our expenditure is 8.92 trillion naira. So that is to say, we spend more than we get. A formula for chaos, a formula for disaster. But is that where I'm going to? No, that's not where I'm going to. This is where I am going to. Now, as you might have already seen, Nigeria's debt profile rose by 2.3% to 24.947 trillion, about $81.27 billion in the first quarter of the year. The Debt Management Office said in a report released on Wednesday. Wednesday was when? 2 days ago, right? Very good, very recent now. Now, the total public debt grew marginally by 2.30% when compared to the figure of 24.387 trillion naira as at December 31, 2018, the report said. Now, as at December, we were owing 24.387 trillion naira. As at July, not much. You can say, I don't know if you're scared as I am, because I think it's still much. Well, I know some of you are loyalists who say it's not just 598. But the truth is, we're still owing within that range. As at December, it was 24.387 trillion. Right about now, it is still 24 points, but now it is almost at 25. It is now 24.947 trillion naira. I'm emphasizing on it so you know. And the last time you and I talked about it, I remember that was an opinion poll. I asked the question. I asked you, and I said, how do we ensure that we don't go to a point where we are not able to pay back our debts? How do we ensure that we don't sell our freedom to other countries and then become slaves to those countries? I do not have, my facts at my fingertips, but I remember you and I talked about it. And, I told you back then how much we were owing China, how much we were owing the Arab Development Bank, how much we were owing the African Development Bank, how much we were owing the United States, how much we were owing there's one other institution. Come on, think, Canada. I know there are several countries that we are currently owing. And, at that point, there was the talk about even taking more loans. I remember very much the former Minister of Transportation coming out and saying, you know what, to solve Nigeria's problems, you need to take some more loans. You need to take some more loans. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was thinking, being that, we've recovered enough money, like I said earlier. We got money from forfeiture. We got another tranche of the Abacha loot. What else? I think, like EFCC said, over 80 billion naira has been recovered. Even more will be recovered. Why is our debts increasing? That is a question we all need to answer this afternoon. I'm perplexed. I am befuddled. I am in a state of conundrum. This is not funny. This is not something to trivialize. This is not something. I am perplexed at how a country so blessed with all the natural resources, a country where we've got. Trust me, I'm intelligent, and I know there are much more people who are more intelligent than I am. Such a country will still be amassing humongous amount of debt in 2019. I was expecting, with all the talk of, we have been able to stabilize the economy. The economy is growing at a 2 or will grow at a 2.3% rate. I was only wondering and hoping. Why are you looking at me like that? I'm reading out facts, right? Interesting. I was hoping that just maybe, Nigeria would have been paying off our debts. It is scary. it is scary. And I know some of you, all you like to talk about is, hey, PDP did this, hey, APC did that, hey, governor, hey, president. And you don't see beyond and above that. And it is scary, by the way, because if the day we anger China, China might decide to take over all of Nigeria. If the day we anger, the African Development Bank, they might decide to take over Nigeria. Remember Bakassi? I mean, I think it was something similar like that. But how, Nigerians, really, people in Rivers State, seriously, how can we? Because when I ask this question, some of you say, Kalada, you like to talk. You come on air every day, you read, and you come and ask us big grammar questions. But really, it will affect you and I. So let's just say our leaders are bereft of ideas. I didn't say so, but I'm assuming we're playing the game of assumption right about now. Let's just say our leaders are bereft of ideas. What would you advise the government to do to help them start generating revenue, to help them, start to start the attitude where they have to be self-dependent and not go about looking for where to get monies.
Loans. And even Atiku Abubakar.
Yeah, I was expecting you to say that. Yeah,
he has come out to decry the the debt, Nigeria's debt profile. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has decried the unsustainable debt that Nigeria has acquired under President Muhammadu Buhari. In a statement by his media advisor, Mr. Paul Ibe, on Wednesday, Mr. Abubakar called for urgent redress of the debt situation before it totally submerges Nigeria's economic well-being. Now, Mr. Atiku Abubakar has acknowledged that the PDP-led administrations before 2015 left in a national debt profile of about 12 trillion, but noted that the debt doubled during the first tenure of Mr. Buhari.
All right.
And now it has been on the increase. As alarming as this is, what is more troubling is that between December 2018 and March 2019, the administration of President Buhari added an additional and unprecedented 560 billion debt to
it's
our
560,
profile.
not 590.
Okay,
560,
now, he also says that some of the projects that Buhari used in order to win his election, such as trader money, were politically engineered to win people's votes in the just country, and that has added.
I was going to ask the next question. I've asked it before, but hey, Bolu, you've traveled. I mean, you've traveled far and wide, or wider than I have. I mean, you've been to some other states, and then I haven't dared to go to. Do you see this money is borrowed in any projects in around those states that you've gone to?
Exactly the point.
Like, no, I'm asking because I want to quote you. You don't. You don't see.
I don't see any of this money is reflected in the project because these are huge amounts of money.
When last did you have light in your compound?
Yesterday.
You had light yesterday?
Yes.
Interesting. So you can say they're trying. That means the monies were used to give you power supply.
And that's why we do not have constant power supply.
I mean,
we just talked about generator fumes now. Why do we even need a generator if the government was functional? I've always said Nigeria as a country, we need to have a blueprint of where we want to be and things that we want to follow.
All right,
but we don't.
All right, pause it there for now. Now, I need you to educate you that it is not just the federal government that has borrowed money.
Okay.
It will interest you to know that in as much as the federal government is owing, you would realize that inside that debt, the state government has a debt profile of 31%.
Do state governors have
they borrow money? It will interest you to know that they borrow
have
money.
The capacity to borrow money.
Yeah, they do.
But they have their internal generated revenues. They have
my point. Are they generating it? Are they generating enough? That is that is the problem of Nigeria. We are not generating.
Because then if state governors borrow money, then what can we even say about the executive?
Do you know the Lagos? That has the highest internally generated revenue, also has one of the highest debt profiles. It will interest you to know because they are not generating enough. They are not. What are they generating? Go to market to tell you, you never pay your 300 naira tax. Some MCs. I didn't
Does
call
this
anybody
mean
name.
that they don't get enough from the federal government?
See, I think number one, there is mismanagement. Because if you look at the monies allocated to River State, for example, you would expect River State to actually be the garden city of Nigeria.
It is.
How is it?
The garden city.
The garbage, you mean?
That's what they call it.
It's garbage city, actually.
No, garden city.
I mean, go outside there and you see it's garbage city.
But that's the
Quote
policy
me
of the
anywhere.
government.
Quote me anywhere. I'm
Canada.
ready to go to court. I have evidence.
Yeah, I know.
I have evidence.
I know, but this is the
Look at
government
Impolu
policy.
Junction. No, you're angry. You're about to get me angry right about now. Look at Impolu Junction. Really?
But Nigeria is the giant of Africa. Or
Giant
what would you call
where?
us?
I mean, giant in borrowing money.
Well, also in corruption.
You can say that again. I didn't say it anyways. You said it. Now, this one says the federal government accounts for 13.113 trillion naira, or 52%, while states and the FCT account for 3.97 trillion naira, or 57% of the debt. And this brings Nigeria's total debt to 24.947 trillion. I mean, I can read the report. It's a long report. I'm just trying to get out the main details from it, and it is crazy. It is crazy. I mean,
scary.
Yeah, on Tuesday, is it on Tuesday? Was it on Tuesday? On Tuesday, we talked about the fact that we have cotton, we have textile, we have iron, we have
even agriculture. We talked about oil palm.
Yeah. So now let's be constructive. Now let's have a conversation. I need you to tell me, how can we
reduce?
Not reduce. Debt. Before we get to reduction, I need to
generate.
Yeah. How can we generate? I'm not just generating, but for the long term, how can
diversifying,
we? Maybe you can put that in diversification. But
add a little bit to this oil money, because we can't just depend on oil. Because if we have so much oil and we say we make,
are we even utilizing the oil?
Yes,
are we even utilizing the oil?
Exactly, and then we're still borrowing money. Why should we borrow money?
So I'm thinking,
when we have natural resource in the soil, we have Ajaokuta Steel Company that is rotten. We have, this country is so blessed. I don't know. I don't see the need for us to borrow.
I don't know. I'm confused about it. I mean, I've been in Nigeria all my life. Sometimes I wish.
I thought you were from Canada.
Yeah, but I've been in Nigeria all my life. I was born here. I was born here. It is. I mean, I chose this profession because I feel like I can actually change the narrative. I feel like I can actually cause a paradigm shift in the way we think in this part of the world. And sometimes I wake up crying. I feel hopeless about the situation. I mean, Nigeria is. I remember very well February after the elections. I took time out from work because I needed to cure my heartbreak. Really,
from what you saw.
From everything I experienced, I needed time to cure my heartbreak. And looking at it now, I am so much concerned. And I know you're concerned too, because I can see the phone lines. It's been blazing for the past 15 minutes. And I know you want to jump into the conversation, and I'm going to give you a chance now. But this is the question. How can we be constructive with our generating revenue? How can we be constructive with our generating revenue? Secondly, what can we do to ensure that our debt does not get to the threshold where we become like Venezuela, where we become like Greece, and we now have to wait for the world financial bodies to come to our rescue? How do we ensure that we don't get to that threshold? I mean, they say 560 trillion naira was borrowed additionally, both by states, both by the federal government. Do you see any projects? No, let's hold our government accountable right about now. Do you see? I mean, look around you, look in your environment, all the places you pass today. Do you see any project that has warranted the monies that have been borrowed? I am Kalada, and I speak nothing but the truth, only the truth, and the truth. If I speak the truth, I will die. If I don't speak the truth, I will die. You remember that song? Dino Milaya, right? Let's get the conversations going on. 0817 000 0951 and 0810 9510 951. Text messages to the number 0701 933 9962. And Chiwendi is just looking at me. I'm saying, what's this guy's problem? Well, that's what I am. 95.1 FM.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is John from Alu.
John from Alu, all the way. Welcome on the show. Talk to me.
You asked the question, do we see any project?
Hey, one of the questions I asked, yeah?
Yeah.
Money that the government has borrowed so far. Of course, there are projects. I can list them for you. One of them is our present president was a sick man, but today is a sound and healthy man. So we go on the money. The money borrowed is part of what we use to keep him fit, so that he can govern well. And hello, are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and apart from that, the beautiful promises they made, before they came into office, our refinery was 50% functioning, and they assured us that the refinery will be 100% functioning, but today it is deteriorating. So the government itself that is into existence never cared about the Nigerians. It's not because we were tired with the PDP and a lot of people jump into this present. Now they are realizing the mistake they have made. So the next project which we embarked upon is on how we can rescue the country from their hand. If not, the debt will continue to increase. Even when they get faster and their port getting richer. That's just my position in regards to, because if it's still going to complain, we complain from now to tomorrow. Nothing good will ever come up. So we just have roughly 3 years and six months or 8 months to go. Then we go off from the office and other people will take over. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
95.1 FM.
Hello, Canada, this is Dike.
Dike, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, you see, our problem is majorly that of mismanagement of funds. Is it not a contradiction that so much is recovered as looted money, while so much is also borrowed? That means we borrow to loot.
We borrow to loot, you say? I want to quote you right. You say we borrow to what?
We borrow to loot.
Okay.
L-O-O-T.
All right.
We borrow to loot.
So you're saying that for them to finance their corruption, they have to go outside and borrow more money.
Yes.
Interesting.
And take it back to that outside, not even investing it here.
Interesting.
I mean, that is just what it is. Then you remember the Minister of Finance the other day saying that we have not even borrowed enough.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That's very, very typical of an average Nigerian. He does not know his limit when climbing until he hit his head on the roof. That is it.
All right.
Until the lender says we are not giving to you again, we will not stop. That is our attitude.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. I mean, this is scary, by the way. 95.1 FM.
And
Kalada.
Bolu and Kalada.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
Mascot.
Mascot, I guess you're missing Andrew. Don't worry, you'll be back on Monday.
How you doing now?
I'm good.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you know the problem. We have a very big problem in this country.
Yes, we do. We do.
Very big problem. And you see, the problem, the bigger problem they are facing now is the problem of these two political parties.
How is?
Either you are talking from APC point of view.
Oh, you're talking from PDP. All right.
You see, that's the problem. When you talk now, people are lying to work out. But the thing is this. Now, the type of vote which have entered now, tell me the system.
I can't hear you, Mascot. Mascot, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. You're faint. Can you please speak into the mouthpiece?
Okay. But I'm hearing you very well.
Yeah, of course you can. You can hear me very well. I'm loud and clear.
Now, so that is what I'm saying, my dear brother. What do we do to bring this situation? Look at the type of natural endowment to the northern region. We have everything. There are chickens coming there. When we just start mining all those things in commercial quantity to add it to our production account,
What is the problem? Why is it that our only source of revenue is oil?
Next
When we
question.
have enough mineral resources deposit in the north, criminals come from Nigeria, Chad, and all this and mine them, and the governors they are keeping quiet. Is it that the governors there are doing secret business with all those people so that those money will not turn into the federation account?
All right.
Or they are keeping it for the rainy day in case when oil dries up in the Niger Delta, so that they will come up and say, oh, maybe let's go. We have what will keep us alive.
All right.
That is the problem we are facing in this country, my dear brother. If now we can bring all those things together, oil and all those mineral resources, join them together, I think we have enough revenue. Not minding that most of these are politicians, my dear brother Canada, very greedy people.
All right.
These politicians are greedy to a fault. Do you know that a politician in Lagos, 3 billion van was found in his house? And he told us openly that if the money belonging to anybody. And nobody's talking. But I know that there are somebody in your Buguma village that cannot feed. That
I know that. I mean, I've not eaten today.
Hello?
I can hear you loud and clear.
I'm telling you, in your village, I've been to Buguma. The type of swallow, the type of suffering people are suffering.
I'm suffering too.
In my own village. Now, but somebody has 3 billion van and he's telling us, and some people are wearing t-shirts telling us that in 2023 he will come. That's the problem we are facing.
All right, mascot, your problem.
Somebody told you now, my dear, I will just give me a second. So somebody told you now that you don't have structure. But I know that President Goodluck Jonathan became president without the presidential structure.
All right.
That is the problem we are facing. People in this country, when you talk, they say you are PDP or APC. So thank you and God bless you. I don't know what to talk again.
Bless you too. You said it all. 95.1 FM.
Yeah, good afternoon, Canada.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. What's your name and where you calling from?
Ambassador London man calling from
London man, the only London man that stays in Port Harcourt. How are you doing?
Thank you. Fine, my brother. And you?
I'm great.
Okay, my brother. I think a question about how can we harness our untapped natural resources, bar?
No, that's not the question. I'm saying how do we ensure that we don't go into more debt? I mean, the monies we borrow is becoming bigger than we can handle. How do we ensure that we don't go into that? And secondly, do you see the impact of this monies borrowed on your immediate environment?
Okay, my brother. Actually, the first answer to the question you asked is no. I don't see any impact in the economy, in the all sector of economy. And like I asked you before, you put me right about this. It's still interwoven with my question. Yes, because our economy, there are resources we have here that are untapped. For instance, we have Jokuta, we have we have what is it called? This code that we have all these whatever where the mind goes in the north and what have you. All those things governments are not making efforts towards ensuring that all those things are being harnessed for the betterment of the economy, for the betterment of the people, whereby these things are done. You know that you and I know that there will be a holistic economic development in the economy. There will be holistic employment. Those who don't have jobs will have jobs. And you know that if these things are harnessed, if these things are tapped, we won't go out borrowing money from other countries because we have enough. But the issue there, the problem we have with our leaders is that I don't know. Every year we talk, every administration will talk, and they remain silent. And we have people who have no ideas. So the issue there is that whereby we have these people who have no initiative about how economy can grow, we cannot grow. We keep on borrowing because they know that the only source of this is oil. They know that in the end they will enjoy the money from oil, whereby other masses will go hunger. So what I'm saying in essence is that we can only stop borrowing when we now harness all these untapped natural resources God has given to us. Not when Christ come again, we are going to do all this. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, London man. Always cracking me up when you call. But you see, the truth is, I'm wondering why Nigerians are not so bitter by this news. I'm wondering why Nigerians are not on the streets like they were on the streets when Koza Pastor was allegedly said to have raped some celebrity. I'm wondering why Nigerians are not riled up like they were when the news of or the video clip of a certain Senator Abo was seen brutalizing, that's the right word, brutalizing a pregnant woman. I'm wondering, I'm really wondering why Nigerians, because every month, am I stressing it enough? Every month, senators, House of Rep members, president and his cabinets, the yet to be formed ones, by the way, vice president and his aides, the judiciary, the magistrates, the judges, the clerks, they go home with whooping sums of money. Money that can give me miracles. Those kind of monies is what they go home with. And I'm wondering why Nigerians are not riled up. Because if we calculate all of this money, it's taxpayers' money, by the way, money is gotten from revenues generated internally. If these monies can be reduced, I mean, we would not have to borrow money to build a railway. We would not have to borrow money to buy a train. We would not have to borrow money to increase our megawatts from 2,500 to 2,500 mega. Nice one there. Nice one there. But you see, we would not have to do it. We would not have to borrow money for all of these things. But hey, Nigerians rather fold their hands or standing akimbo and talk about our governor of Abia State or governor, or rather, they would like to have slogans like my people, our governor. Anyways, 95.1 FM. Keep your calls coming in 0817-000-0951 and 0810-951-0951. They love me in the studio, by the way. They do. 95.1 FM.
Hello, Canada.
Yes, Lawson, welcome back.
Yes, you see, if you are not an economist, you will not understand borrowing. Before I go answering your question.
So now, first of all, in the first half, you said I am not a politician, and that is why I did not understand politics. And now you've come again and say I am not an economist. That is why I don't understand economics. All right, talk to me.
Well, let me shock you. As of June 31st, 2019, United States debt, national debt, at $22.3 trillion.
Please. I thought. Wait, Lawson, let's do economists. Thank you very much for calling and reminding me, because I talked about it too. Go back and check how much they generated as revenue.
That is what I'm saying.
No, you want to teach me economics now. Tell me what they generated as revenue.
Wait now.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Now, wait. That is United States. United Kingdom is stood at 1.86 trillion pounds.
What?
Pounds.
I know all of these things. Wait, I know.
Now.
Lawson,
right. Now,
I know these things. Tell me what their internally generated revenue is like.
Now, you need to understand something about Nigeria. Right now, it's a country where there is serious infrastructural deficit.
Okay.
This money, you see, yes, Nigeria is not now. Most of these infrastructures, they generate revenue. Like now, you are asking.
Sorry. What? Tell me one thing in Nigeria currently that these monies have been put into.
Understand me?
Okay.
I said there is infrastructural deficit.
All right.
Now, when you look at the borrowing, it is used mainly to develop infrastructure, especially rail infrastructure.
Really?
You may not know the size of rail infrastructure that is going on in Nigeria.
I know about it, please.
The solid mineral sector is underdeveloped. It's also heavily being developed. Then agriculture. By the way, do you know that Nigeria is the largest producer of rice in Africa? You understand? Now, these monies are used to develop mainly infrastructure, agriculture, and solid minerals.
Interesting.
Now, let me tell you something about borrowing. Every nation borrow.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Every nation borrows, but those monies are used for critical investments that will in turn. Wait. That is why I asked you what was the internally generated revenue. I want to show you that I do know economics right about now. Now, you no. You brought out the spirit in me. See, listen.
From the way you are presenting it, you are presenting as if borrowing.
Listen. Yeah, but in our condition right about now, the borrowing is not healthy because whether you like.
Do you know that it's not? Do you know that the rain once it is finished? Do you know how much it will generate? This rail sector that you are seeing, when it is finished,
now the question you would ask yourself when wait. The question you ask yourself, when will it be finished in would it be finished in time to be able to generate that money and pay back in time so that the interest incurred does not go above board? One, two, wait. Now, Lossie, you asked me a question. Let me answer you. We're having a discussion. Now, two, do you realize that maybe we don't really need to borrow? We could look internally. I mean, South Africa did it. We could cut our expenditure to the point where it does not, shoots way above our revenue. One way is reducing the salaries of public officers. Two, to make sure. Sorry, you're making my voice crack all over again. Two, to make sure that we invest in critical sectors. You talk about agriculture. You talk about we being the largest rice producers. But do you also realize that other African nations are also producing rice, which is making it very competitive, market? So we need to go back to the drawing board and look at those things, those sectors that are primarily, what's the word? Come on, help me somewhere now. That are primarily peculiar to Nigeria. So when you get to that point, we develop those places. And for example, if we had refineries, if we were like Dubai, I mean, think about it. Dubai sells tourism. Yes. And they can use tourism and develop as many places in Dubai that they want to. They didn't go borrowing money. They developed tourism.
Now, understand something.
I'm trying to.
Now, this project you are talking about, infrastructure is capital intensive.
I do agree with you.
Nigeria earnings is only from crude oil. And crude oil is gradually going away. That's why you see it cannot earn much. Those days you see $140, $120.
Yeah.
You no longer see it again.
And that is why I said you can invest in mining of gold. Gold is a very much demanded commodity. You can invest on cotton. You can. I mean, what are the state governors doing? Everybody should be up and running.
That is what I am saying. In your program, in all of the programs, you see that every talk is federal government.
No, but I mentioned state government. Come on, Lawson. I mentioned state. I knew you were going towards there.
No, I'm not talking about you alone. No, I'm talking about the nation generally. The federal government, everybody knows. Nobody is thinking that we are in a federation where we have 3 tiers and they are all collecting
allocation.
All
right.
Nobody thinks about that.
All right, Lawson, we have argued for 6 minutes. Yeah, conclude now.
I don't know, Canada. I think I would like to challenge you. You understand, to a debate.
I'm open for it. Let's do it. When do you want to do it?
Give me time and place, and then the platform.
No problem. I'll think about it. Thank you very much.
Think about it. Time, place, and platform.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling in. Oh, you challenge me. I'm open to the challenge. I'm open to the challenge. He thought I didn't know economics, and you see, I went head on with him, and he don't underestimate me, please. 95.1 FM.
Canada, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
I quite briefly, let me allow that, but let me just keep in one. I want to thank you,
mascot,
for educating my friend, the last caller, for educating him. That's it. Because this money have been packed in Boulon van. That's the problem. That's why I said Boulon van. This money have been packed in Boulon van.
Right.
Instead of using it to build Christian infrastructure. I talked about refinery the other time. You know how much we will generate? Is this current president?
I know you're angry. I know you're angry. Take it to your pill. Sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
you.
Thank you very much. I know you angered you. Sorry about that. 95.1 FM.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, Canada. My name is Chima Husi. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, welcome.
Canada, Lawson is a politician. Don't mind him.
He claims to be an economist now. He wants to challenge me to a debate.
He's a politician.
All right.
President wants to police everything.
All right.
No, let me tell you. There's nothing actually wrong in borrowing.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
The problem is when you borrow and share the money. That is where the problem comes from.
All right.
Yes. But when you borrow and you know a critical infrastructure where this money is going to, and it's going to bring returns, it will be betterment of all. There's nothing. Now he tries to give US as a reference. Can you compare US and Nigeria? Can you compare the infrastructure in US and Nigeria?
Not at all.
The amount of money that are borrowed in this country cannot be commiserated with what is on ground.
All right.
That is the problem. That is
the
truth. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Yes.
All right.
These people have been sharing this money, and the worst of it all the leaders so lazy. They cannot generate anything. Most of our governors, local government, cannot even manage a pure water factory. They cannot manage.
Interesting.
Yes, they can't. They cannot generate. All they are waiting is allocation to squander every month end. They send their commissioner of finance to go and collect allocation for them to squander. That is what we have in Nigeria.
All right.
If this money has not been invested, that is the problem. If this money have been invested, it will reflect on the life of a common man on the street. Who we all see.
So are you saying you have not seen this money's? I mean, your roads have been built according to reports. Railways have been built. Seashores, seashores they call it? Yeah, ports rather. Ports have been built rather. Yeah.
Canada. Now, do you know that? Like in my village, there's a village called Rumodogo. In my village,
I know Rumodogo. Yes, I know Rumodogo.
We shout and shout. We don't have road after road.
Yes. I hear you shout on area talk.
Someone came to the radio station. Some people that they don't have money. Then Canada, you begin to ask questions. If a chairman, a local government does not have the money that will be able to fix a kilometer road, then what is the existence of local government? You understand?
Yes.
So the money is not there. The money
and they're supposed to be generating this money, right?
Yes, the money is shared every day. It cannot. It's not reflecting the life of
All right,
Nigeria.
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chima. Thank you. I know you're angry. I'm sorry. Can you just take a chill pill? 95.1 FM. Sorry?
Good afternoon, Mr. Kalada.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Mr. What's your name? Sorry? Oh, welcome to you.
I just want to ask you one question before I start. Are you saying that all this money that has been borrowed during Buhari's administration, that Buhari has siphoned it?
How can I make such a statement? Who am I?
So
Who am I?
Also, thank God that let me also tell you that even if Buhari borrow more money than the other...
But let me correct you now. I did not say the federal government borrowed the loan. I said the federal government and the states. The federal government has 57%.
Thank you. Let me tell you that Le Pen DS has confidence, has trust on this Buhari administration.
So you're saying that you have seen the effects. Wait now, do not politicize the show. You're saying no, you are you are you're a loyalist and you're sounding like a loyalist. And I want to ask you a question. Are you saying come on, allow me to ask the question. Are you saying that you are feeling the effects, the impact of the monies borrowed in your environment?
Absolutely.
Where do you stay? What area do you stay?
I stay in Port Harcourt. I stay at D-Line.
D-Line. And so D-Line has a quality power supply. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
So you have quality power supply.
If you look at it,
you have. Allow me to ask the questions now. I want to see the impact that you're talking about. You have good security architecture in D-Line. I mean, they shot some. I mean, they shot.
Is the federal government coming to secure Rivers State for you?
The police is a federal government agency. The police is a federal government agency.
We have somebody collecting money every month for that.
My point is the police is the federal. The police is the one saddled with the utmost responsibility of securing lives and property.
Money for that.
Like I said, I'm asking. Oh, so you agree that? Anyways, thank you very much for calling in. Thank you very much. Good to have you on the show. I lost that one. We have text messages. Yeah.
Yeah. This one says we have a prudent president that is not corrupt and that is making the money from oil and solid minerals, customs, etc. With loots being recovered and we are still lacking funds. It's asking a question. That message was from Paul Bean O. This one says the money in total debt owed by states and the federal government. The money is total debt owed by states and federal government. Yeah, we corrected that. We said that on the show. I
said at the beginning. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh my. Anyways, people wanting to correct me on economics. Interesting. Any more text messages? All right, loading 95.1 FM.
Yeah, my bro.
JAJ.
Wow, thank you very much.
Yeah, I know almost all of your voices, so don't be surprised. All right, welcome.
Canada straight to business, and I treat your new member in the studio.
Bulu.
Yes. First and foremost, borrowing money is not a problem.
All right.
And I'll take you to America to meet my friend, my homie, Donald Trump.
All right.
When he was carrying out a project, borrowed money from some people, and the project was not working well, and it was highly indebted. That was when, for the first time, was declared bankrupt, right? Then he now called all the people he borrowed money from and asked them for a meeting, and he told them this meeting will take time. That the only way for him to pay back their money is for them to borrow him more money. So he put that money into the project, and in less than 6 months, he has the highest recovery. Check your Guinness Book of Records. Right. You will see it there. So what I'm trying to tell you in essence is the money borrowed by the federal government is being put into projects. You have the rail project, you have the counterpart funding of the Train 7, you have the Empower. No, Empower is not part of project. So many other projects that are going on.
No. I disagree with you. Empower is a project. No. JJ, come on. Let's be truthful. Let's be truthful now.
Is what? Expenditure. They borrow money for
it's called an investment, a social investment program. That is what it is called. Social investment program.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
What I'm trying to tell you in essence is so many projects on, and if you don't complete this project and the project bringing money, there's no way you can pay back this money. The mistake we did in the past was that money borrowed were found in people's pockets, and the investment at the end of the day could not, how will I put it now, recover or complete and fund themselves so that they can bring money back in circulation.
All right.
Take the refinery and all those stuff, for example. And the refineries are not working right now. So whatever money you borrow to put there is like a wasted money.
Right.
But since the government is now focused on using money borrowed for particular
But no, JJ, now I never said borrowing was bad, but I said at the state where we find ourselves right about now, borrowing more is unhealthy. Don't you think that we should begin to look inwards to generating revenue, or maybe reducing the expensive nature of public, service and ensure?
Reduce the expensive nature. Yes, we have to do that.
All right.
We have to do that, but the borrowing thing and all those stuff, I think it will still continue.
JJ, I need to make you understand that if it gets to 30 trillion naira, we would reach a threshold where financial institutions will no longer give us money.
And Canada, let me ask you, how much has America borrowed? They are the highest debtor.
I am not arguing with you, but then again, how much is their revenue? How much? See, this is how it is calculated. This is how. No. See,
higher revenue.
No, this is how it is calculated. When they are borrowing you money, for example, a bank wants to give you a loan, they check how much you earn and how much you would realize in a year. True or false?
How much you will earn when you invest that money?
They first of all look at your paying back capacity. That is what the first thing.
That money.
It's not about investing. Anybody can come up with Anybody can come up with JJ. Wait. Anybody, I can decide to come up with a very good plan and tell you how much I will earn. But if I do not have the capacity in case that investment fails to pay back, the bank will not give you back.
Capacity do increase.
I am not arguing with you.
I am from Delta State, for instance, and you have Edo and Delta being together. They can come together and borrow 6 billion and say they want to open a fishing trawler or whatever company. And the
do you know that
money,
governments,
because they know
there are governments that have borrowed money? I'll give you instances. The banana farm that the former governor in River State did, is it the Shanghai farm? The fish pond in Buguma. Where are all those projects? Where are all those projects? My point is, you can come up with a brilliant plan, a very, very brilliant plan, but sometimes the execution is not exceptional. Wait now. Oh my.
That one that dying now.
Anyways.
Are you not here?
JJ, we've got to go now. Thank you very much for calling in. Thank you very much. Yeah, but it's time for the news update again. We can continue conversations. We can continue arguing, and before you know, it will be a lot of messages, right?
Yes.
Can we run through some of them?
Okay, this one says, "Good day, I am Mayor. Some calls to stop politicizing everything because of party politics. Politicians have failed because of corruption. They travel around the world, but they never imitate what they see from them. We, the Nigerians, should hold them accountable from now on." That message was from Mayor.
All right.
This one says, "Good afternoon to you all, gentlemen. I'm Ebere Injoye from PH. To be constructive on your revenue, let federal and state government be sincere and transparent to Nigerians.
All right.
As for what they use the borrowed money, examples are Ruga settlements."
All right.
Okay, this one says, "If we could ever recover looted funds without option."
All right, I think we need to go for the news update right about now. Thank you very much for everyone who's contributed, for everyone of you who sent text messages that I could not read. My apologies. But hey, let's do this again on Monday when today's hustle will come your way again. For now, it's bye-bye. But keep listening to Today 95.1 FM. It's been Bolu and Kalada on today's hustle 95.1 FM.
Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
Afternoon. Here is the news update at 3 on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kala Dakurubatsbo. The new Commissioner of Police in Rivers State, Mustafa Dandwara, has warned cultists and other criminal elements to relocate from the state or be ready to face the war irrespective of their hideouts. CP Dandwara said he's in Rivers State to fight crime and criminality to a standstill with the use of Operation Puff Adder, which he said is in line with the directives by the Inspector General of Police. The Commissioner of Police, as part of his riot act against criminals, said he has the mandate to fight the monster of cultism, kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, and pipeline vandalism bedeviling the state. CP Dandwara warned that the state will no longer be conducive for criminals, saying that his arrival will see the decimation of criminals on the east-west and Elele Owerri roads, noting the River State is strategic to the economic well-being of the country, which makes it compulsory to curtail the security challenge that will naturally crop up. The new Commissioner of Police assured that the command under his watch will rest on intelligence-led policing, constructive engagement, and community partnership, recovery of illegal firearms, as well as zero tolerance on corruption and respect for sanity of human lives.
Rivers State is strategic to the economic well-being of the country. It therefore follows that so much needs to be put in to curtail and minimize the security challenges that will naturally crop up given the peculiar socio-economic environment of the state. And here in the state to fight crime to a standstill, in line with the IGP's directive of cascading the Operation Pop Adder in all the commands across the country. Though the operation has not been officially launched here in Rivers State, but suffice it to say that I have the mandate to be in the state to fight the monsters of cultism, kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, and pipeline vandalization in the state. My arrival will see the decimation of the criminals to the east-west road and that of the Elele Owerri road. I've come to change the narrative in policing strategic and rekindle the public trust in the police.
CP Dandwara, while promising to remain focused on a political professional in discharge of his responsibilities, also called on political gladiators and other stakeholders in the state to come together to move the state forward.
I want to use this medium to call on all the political gladiators of the state to come together and move the state forward. The time to develop the state is now. Elections have come and gone. Let us come together and fight our common enemies.
Correspondent Uchendu Ejawa reports that the Commissioner of Police read out the Riot Act against criminals during his first meeting with divisional police officers across the state, held at the officers' mess at Forces Avenue, GRA, Port Harcourt. The bill establishing the National Commission Against the Proliferation of Small Arms and Light Weapons in Nigeria has passed through a second reading in the House of Representatives. The bill, which was sponsored by Mohammed Mongunu of APC Borno, who expressed grave concern over the influx of small arms and dangerous weapons through ports and porous borders, stressed the need to put necessary measures in place to end the illicit trade. According to Mongunu, the proposed commission, when established, would coordinate and implement activities to combat the menace of proliferation of weapons in the country, in line with the Economic Community of West African States ECOWAS Convention on Small Arms and Light Weapons. Other lawmakers who spoke in favor of the bill said the commission would help Nigeria in combating insecurity and crimes, especially in the insurgent-prone Northeast geopolitical zone as well as neighboring borders. But Abdul Razak Namdaz of APC Adamawa disagreed with them, saying if the police had been very effective, there would not have been the need for a commission as being stated by the bill. Meanwhile, the Speaker of Femi Gbajabiamila said that the bill would be referred to the House Committee on Internal Security when constituted. Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has threatened to sanction any commercial bank inflating interest rate above single digit, specifically on social intervention scheme anchored by the Apex Bank. The CBN governor gave the warning at the opening of a two-day sensitization fair on CBN's financial instruments for micro and macro business enterprises in Kanu, where he was represented by Deputy Director in CBN, Aliyu Katuka. MFLA, who was reacting to alleged high interest rates being charged by commercial banks on empowerment scheme products of the CBN, emphasized that commercial banks were only entrusted to give out the financial instrument at no more than 9% rates. And on the foreign scene, despite opposition from the United States, Turkey has received the first parts of a Russian S-400 missile defense system. According to the Turkish Defense Ministry, the shipment arrived in an airbase in the capital, Ankara, today. Turkey and the U.S. are NATO allies, but Turkey has also been establishing closer links with Russia. The latest move will, however, anger the U.S., which has warned that Turkey cannot have both the S-400 anti-aircraft defense system and U.S. F-35 fighter jets. And that's the size of the package at 3. Thank you for listening. I am Kala Dakurubatubo. Stay tuned. Today's sports is up next.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
You know, there are a few areas that define a man, like...
What a goal! Hangs it up for Ronaldo! Oh, my God!
Experience the glorious goals rush. The heated verbal jabs and even moments of madness. Experience the sensational swings, strokes and shots. The moments of victory and despair. Experience lights out on a majestic night in Singapore and a whole lot more.
On your premium talk news and sports radio station.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Listen to Sports Attack every weekday from 7:30 a.m. and today's Sports Live after the news update at 3 p.m. Stay tuned on Saturdays and Sundays for a bumper edition of today's Sports Live from 1 to 6 p.m. Experience sports in its entirety on your premium talk news and sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
You know, there are a few areas that define a man, like...
Sports.
I think we can live with that.
My name is Gianni Infantino, FIFA president. For the best of sports, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Very good afternoon and welcome to today's Sport Live, reaching you live on Today95.1 FM right here in the Garden City of Port Harcourt. It's Friday, thank God it's Friday, the weekend is here and rest is near. It's the 12th day of the month of July 2019 and it's time to talk sports this afternoon. Of course, my name is Emmanuel Chibuzo. I'm the land's only true striker with lightning shot. I'm being joined in the studio by none other but the Superman himself, Wisdom Obina. Wisdom, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, top striker. Good afternoon, of course, to everyone listening. It's my pleasure to be here.
And of course, a pleasure to be here this afternoon. The program is highly interactive this afternoon. And of course, for SMS and WhatsApp, you can reach us on the number 0701-9339-962, 0701-9339-962. Of course, we shall be seeing if the SMS portal is still active. And of course, shall be opening phones at some point on Twitter. You can tweet at me at Emmanuel9001 on Twitter. You can tweet at me at Emmanuel90001. I'll be taking your tweet real time on the show this afternoon. And of course, let's start this afternoon from Wimbledon. Yes, the SW19, they call it right there, the third major Grand Slam of the year. Semi-final first going up right there between none other, Novak Djokovic and Roberto Bautista Agut. And of course, right now, it's one apiece. They've taken one set apiece. Novak Djokovic won the first set, while the second set was taken by Bautista Agut. The third set is still on as Novak leads 5-2 in the third set right then. Of course, Wisdom, let me come straight to you. Bautista Agut is giving Novak a good run for his money in the semifinals this afternoon. At this point, he's not even a stroll in the park for Novak himself.
Well, of course, top striker, I'm sure the Spaniard must be very impressed with what he has done so far in this tournament. I mean, it's his best performance in the Grand Slam tournament. It seems like 2019 is a good year for him. You know, we saw him in the Australian Open, managed to make it to his first quarterfinal in a Grand Slam singles match. The best he has ever done before that was, fourth round finish. That was both in the French Open and in the US Open. I mean, as a tennis star, he's not the biggest of names. You look at the class and difference between Novak Djokovic and Roberto, you have to tell yourself the truth. This man is not supposed to be a match at any time for Novak Djokovic, who's world number one. He's currently 22nd, talking about Bautista, currently ranked 22nd in the world. Not much performance I've seen from these guys. I said if he ends it this way, it's going to rank as a great performance for him. But of course, he's not lying low to take this one in. Now, the semi-final pairings have the top 3 in the world. And you look at you, an outsider from the 22nd position coming in. You look at even his seeding for this tournament. So I think for me, it has been a success for him. But of course, a lot of us expected it to be a clean sweep for Novak Djokovic. But it doesn't look that way, I tell you, top striker. The man is giving Novak Djokovic a solid run for his money, winning that second set 6-4. Let's see how it pans out. He's in the third set, and although Novak is still leading this one 5-3. At some point, it was 5-2. But it looks like Roberto might be pushing him to the end. But as by overpowering him, we wait to see.
And of course, Novak is 7 for the third set right there. Novak won the first set 6-2, while Bautista won the second set 6-4. Right now, it's 5-3 in favor of Novak. And of course, Novak is 7 for the third set. And of course, just after this, it's going to be the blockbuster encounter between Rafael Nadal and none other but the greatest of them all, talking about Roger Federer. The first meeting at this surface in 11 years. And of course, at this point, like we always say, no more time for talking. Let them do the business on the field of play, or in the court rather. Where will the pendulum swing for you this afternoon? Roger Federer up against Rafael Nadal.
Well, top striker, we are just seeing Roberto Bautista smashing, of course, the net. It just looks like he's not impressed. A lot of us did not even expect him to do this much, but of course he's not even impressed with what he's doing so far, because it seems like the
set points for Novak.
I tell you, they are going in the way of Novak Djokovic. But on the case of Federer and Rafael Nadal, that's the match of the day, and of course the match of the tournament so far. That is, you look at the fact that these two names are the two most established names when it comes to winning the Grand Slam titles. At least you want to put Rafael Nadal also as part of the legends when it comes to, in short, 3 of them, including Novak, who is playing today, are legends when it comes to the sport of lawn tennis. So I think for me, it's going to be what it's expected to be. It's going to be a blockbuster. We're going to see the best of tennis. We're going to see the best of skills on display. Skill from both sides now. You look at the fact that the last time these guys met in 2008 in this tournament, it lasted for about 7 hours plus, although the main match was about 4 hours plus or thereabout, just that the rains did disrupt that one. But of course, it's always a huge matchup when these two guys or any of these 3 get to meet each other, and you can't easily just tell where the pendulum would swing. Now, you ask yourself, who is better? That definitely would be Roger Federer, because of what he has done on grass throughout his career. Nadal has not been very, very lucky on grass, but of course he has picked up titles.
But does the head-to-head not come into play in favor of Rafa ahead of this one?
Well, he does, top striker. But if you look at the performances of both players on grass, there are a lot of statistics that we can use to make predictions. You look at how much they fed against each other. You look at how much they fed against each other on grass, how much they fed against each other on different courts, and how many times each of them has won this tournament. So I think clearly, top striker, it's going to be a mouth-watering encounter, I tell you. A lot of people who are not following tennis would definitely follow this one because of what it promises to bring. Now, it might just be that match that will be talked about for many, many years to come. A lot of people have not forgotten what happened in 2008. And the one between, I think Novak was involved in that one. I can't get exactly how many hours it lasted. But of course, we still remember those kind of games. There are those kind of games that 20, 30 years from now, you look back and tell yourself, this was maybe the biggest of talents, or clash of the titans, when it comes to tennis. These are going to be the I think that are the 2 biggest names. If you look at tennis, from history, yes, we've had the big names too who have come in at some certain point. The Pete Sampras of this world have been overtaken, by Roger Federer, and it looks like
even Djokovic.
I tell you, Jimmy Connor's record too will soon be, he's almost getting to it, I tell you, for Roger Federer. So I think for me, this is definitely going to be like the biggest match, at least we have seen so far this year, if you ask me, because of course it's the two greatest names when it comes to tennis.
And of course, from what we've seen from Novak so far, we've seen some places that can be exploited if he meets a very experienced player. Like the saying goes, no two games are the same. But up against either Nadal or Djokovic or Federer in the finals, talking against Novak, will it be a stroll in the park for Novak? Can Novak have it rosy the way he has a better head-to-head ahead of the other guys on tour? Do you think, from the signs we've seen, that he can be exploited against any of these other guys, either Nadal or Federer in the final? Do you expect them to get the edge over him, over Novak?
Well, I think first it will depend on these other guys. That's whoever makes it through. That is Rafael Nadal or Roger Federer. It will depend on how much they have studied Novak Djokovic. Now, it's not about just playing him in previous tournaments. It's not about how you fared against him in the other games. It's about what he's playing at the moment, his current form. As you said, if what we've seen Roberto Bautista utilize against him in this match are what to go by, then definitely there could be a chance for Rafael Nadal or Roger Federer to take advantage of those loopholes also. But of course, I tell you, when it comes to Novak Djokovic, it's not about clay. It's not about the hard courts. It's not about grass. It seems to be on every side, I tell you, seems to at least maintain a solid performance when it comes to any of these turfs outside clay, which is completely or totally dominated by Rafael Nadal. So I think it would definitely not be a pushover for any of them. First, for Rafael Nadal, if he comes up against a Novak Djokovic, we all know how it would look like. For me, I will still pick Novak as the favorite ahead of us. If they get to meet in the final, I might not want Novak to win, but of course, Novak will still be the favorite. Now, if he comes up against Roger Federer, it's a totally different ball game, if you ask me. Looking at what Roger Federer has done, in the course of his life, a lot of people are saying he's old, and I'm asking myself, how old is Serena Williams, a woman at that age, who, of course, we know what women do go through outside just her playing in the court and maybe the strains of age, but she's still playing and still looking basking strong, if you ask me, ahead of even the young stars in quotes who are supposed to be lively and better. So I think for me, if it gets to the finals, if there are loopholes to be exploited, I think whoever is going to meet Novak, because sincerely, I know Roberto is doing a lot in this one, top striker. Is doing a lot, but I still think Novak will find a way to get it over him. If Novak gets to the final, whoever is going to meet him will definitely want to go and see what he has been doing, at least in the past few matches, get to see what he has done. If there are loopholes to exploit, then I'm sure they will try their best to do it. But when it comes to Novak Djokovic, especially in the finals, it's not as easy to predict.
So can you call the game, Rafael Nadal, Roger? You never had a chance to do that yesterday.
Well, top striker, my heart is with Rafael Nadal. But I tell you, I will go for Rafael Nadal over Roger Federer.
Rafael Nadal for wisdom, OB.
Let me just pick one.
And of course, let's go straight to the NPFL this afternoon, where Lobby Stars have announced the signing of Gbenga Ogumbote as the new manager of the side ahead of the new NPFL season. 54-year-old signed a one-year deal with the Makurdi outfit. Ogumbote guided Rangers to a third-place finish at the just concluded NPFL Championship playoffs and also clinched a Confederations Cup spot for the former league winners, but opted to move on after talks over an extension at the club fell through. He takes over from interim coach Eman Ogeyi, who led Lobby to a fifth-place finish last season. During his 2-year spell at Rangers, Ogumbote won his first ever silverware in 2 decades as a coach when he guided the Fire Antelopes to their maiden ITO Cup in 35 years. Meanwhile, Rangers have appointed Benedict Ugu as a caretaker coach. Ugu also played for Rangers at some point in his career. Wizard, let me come to you. You want to ask why leaving good Rangers who are going to the continent next season for Lobby Stars who have no business or who have no place on the continent next season?
Well, top striker is simple: terms and conditions. A lot of times when you succeed, you tend to use that advantage to see how you can get better terms and better contract offers. You know what it means to play in the MPFL. It's not that kind of league where you get maybe fair enough the same thing over a period of time. Your price and your stock could definitely be high today, and within 6 weeks or maybe 2 months or even the course of a season, if you manage to flop with any team, that stock could completely drop. So I think the best thing they try to do is get the money as much as when you can get it, and also get the terms and conditions. I know what I mean by terms and conditions. Some of these clubs actually give you stipulations and rules that are quite difficult as a coach to work with. It makes the environment quite tough. Not just in the MPFL, it's the same too in some other leagues where there are conditions that are put in place by management, where the management wants to be part of the team selection and the number of players that come in and all that. So I think that would definitely be the reasons. The money involved, which I feel is number one. Now you look at the fact that he guided Rangers to the ITO Cup in his 2-year stint. That was, of course, in that beautiful comeback against Kano Pillars. That is enough to make Benga Ogumbote one of the best coaches in Nigeria, if you ask me. Now, by whatever standards you want to check it. So I think by that rating already, he might have probably even thought of leaving. I mean, if he had gotten better offers, as the case may be. So when it comes to the MPFL, it's not about the continent. Rangers could just go to the continent and crash out in the first round, and you decided to stick your neck with them because continental money might come, which of course might not even be coming to your pockets. So I think clearly the conditions might not have been right. Now, you also look at the fact that the Lobby Stars team, first, they look like a team that are not under as much pressure as maybe Rangers now. Rangers are going to be going to the continent, but Rangers and the Lobby Stars side are going to be focusing on the league. Now, don't forget that the Lobby Stars side were also in the continent this past season, and they also have a huge chunk of those players in the side.
What is guaranteed that by the time the league is about to start, majority of these guys have not look for greener pastures abroad, or some move teams to other teams in the MPFL?
Well, definitely it happens in the MPFL season in, season out. Now, but you look at the caliber of coach that's coming to your side. The only move that could maybe the only sort of the only call that would take you out of a Lobby Star side now is maybe going outside the country, or better money, better package, when it comes to cash. But I think definitely with Benga Ogumbote coming in, some players might decide if the money is fair enough that it's across board. Because as I tell you, if I am even an Enyimba player who would maybe get paid better somewhere, might just decide to actually make that switch from maybe as big as Enyimba is to some other team. So I think it depends. But for me, if I was a player and Benga Ogumbote is coming and there's another MPFL side offering me somewhere around the same figure, I think I might want to stick with Lobby Stars, because you look at what Lobby Stars have done.
Left Enyimba last season because of continental football to go to Lobby Stars. So now there's no continental football for Lobby Stars. What's the guarantee we don't want to move to either Kano Pillars or back to Enyimba? Or perhaps Rangers this time around?
Well, of course, how many players make those kind of moves? I think basically it's just the money. If the money is big enough, at times players tend to make some of those switches. Yes, a club might be participating on the continent and they'll tell you to come over. Now, if you are being paid 800,000 and they're promising you 300,000, you won't just because of the continent and make that switch. They might probably give you fair enough the same amount or something higher. But I think Lobby Stars have proved, not in a very long time, but in the short 2 or 3 year seasons now, that they have ambition, that they're willing to do a lot. Yes, they didn't win the league clearly the time they finished tops, because a lot of arguments will go into that if I call them champions, but they didn't win the league per se in terms
but
of...
their name is somewhere written as champions of the season.
Of course, they represented us as champions of the league. They finished first on top of it, but I don't want to just stir up some negative argument, but clearly top striker, I think for me, Benga Ogumbote would be a huge loss to Enugu Rangers.
Over now to the camp of the Golden Eaglets of Nigeria, where Nigeria's Golden Eaglets have been drawn in Group B of the 2019 FIFA Under-17 World Cup scheduled to hold in Brazil from October 26th to November 17th. The Eaglets, who face Hungary in the opening match on October 26th, also have Ecuador and Australia to contend with in the group stage. Former Super Eagles left back or fullback Celestine Babayaro was one of the 2 FIFA legends and tournament veterans present at the draw ceremony, with Brazilian Sonny Anderson the other one. The draw took place yesterday at the home of FIFA in Zurich, Switzerland. Host Brazil is in Group A with Canada, New Zealand and Angola, while Group B has Haiti, Korea Republic, France and Chile. Group D has Senegal, the United States, Japan and the Netherlands, while Group E has Spain, Argentina, Cameroon and Tajikistan, while Group F has Italy, Paraguay, Mexico and Solomon Islands. The tournament's opening match will see Brazil take on Canada in Brasilia on the 26th of October. Wisdom, we want to say fair group or fair draw for the Golden Eaglets of Nigeria. We saw them in the last African tournament. I don't know what you make about this group. Nigeria in the same group with the likes of teams, Ecuador are also in that group.
Hungary.
Is it a fair group for Nigeria? I don't know what you make about that group. Is it going to be an easy one on paper for them to scale through, or you think it's going to be a very difficult one for the Golden Eaglets?
Well, clearly top striker, I would not want to say it's going to be difficult or easy. We are the most successful team in the under-17. So you ordinarily expect us, if we go to that World Cup, yes, we missed out in the 2017 edition, but you ordinarily expect the Golden Eaglets now to find their way around that one. So I think it's a very, very, on paper, based on pedigree and what these countries are, you want to consider the fact that these countries have done little to nothing when it comes to football, on the global stage, be it the under 17, be it the under 20 or senior level. Top striker, a little distraction, I tell you. Djokovic is beginning to get emotional, and it's not a very good way to compete.
But Batista Agut has come out to play him, and it's been serious. The fourth set, nobody has won any game yet. It's been a marathon of some sort in this, almost the first deuce this time around, and Batista Agut is out to play because a victory for him in this set takes this game to the fifth set. Victory for Djokovic takes him to the final. So Batista Agut is giving all. It seems at this point he has the advantage right now. Djokovic truly, I think, is starring out because the guy has really come to play.
Well, not expected at all. I'm sure he wasn't also expecting Roberto to be this blazing. But let's see how it pans out, But on the case of the under-17, I would still want to say is a very, very fair group. Top striker, easy on paper. If you want to look at by whatever measures you want to, is it continental performance? Is it what the kind of players these teams have and all that? I think Nigeria are into a fair group. But the basic thing for me is developmental. What are we going to do with this under-17? The Super Eagles has taught, if not for anybody, me, he has taught me a lesson. Yes, the Super Eagles, the age of the Super Eagles players, the average age of the Super Eagles players, both what they tell you and what they might be. We as Nigerians can look at your face and try. Yes, it's not very correct most times. So I think clearly we should try our best. That's where it matters for me. Find a way to take boys that are truly, truly under 17.
And of course, before we look at the other groups, let's go pay some bills and we'll come back. The program does make a return.
Breaking news. NBA Forex and Capital Investment Limited, your number one Forex institute in Nigeria, launches a new office at Waterlines, Port Harcourt. All residents of GRA, Waterlines, D-Line, Stadium Road, and Old GRA, you now have the opportunity to enroll and invest with NBA Forex and Capital Investment Limited at number 159 Aba Road, Waterlines Junction, Port Harcourt, River State. And remember, the old office still remains at GU Ake Road, adjacent to Unity Filling Station, Elioso, Port Harcourt. Or you can also call 0808-595-3225, 0816-295-3970, or 0705-461-3070. Or you can send an email to info@mbaforex.org. NBA Forex and Capital Investment Limited, your journey to financial freedom.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
There are a few areas that define a man, like sports.
I think we can live with that.
And of course, welcome back to the program today, Sport Live, reaching you live on this frequency 95.1 FM right in Port Harcourt. And of course, we're talking about the under-17s. And of course, Group A has Brazil, who are the host nation right there. And they also have in that group New Zealand, Angola, and Canada in Group A. Group B has Nigeria, Australia, Ecuador, and not forgetting the last team in Australia in that group. While, of course, in Group C has Haiti, Korea Republic, France, and Chile. Group D has Senegal, US, Japan, and Netherlands. While Group E will see Spain, Argentina, Cameroon, and Tajikistan. While Group F has Italy, Paraguay, Mexico, and Solomon Islands. Let's talk about the African interest first. Spain, Argentina, Cameroon, and Tajikistan in Group E. This can pass for the group of death. I don't know what about you, Wisdom?
I completely agree, top striker. The under-17 champions here in Africa, talking about Cameroon. It's not a fair group if you ask me. Now, the Spanish side and the Argentine side, they have a very, very solid youth preparations or arrangements down there in their countries. The Spanish league has on the 16s, that's 16 years boys who get debut right there in the Spanish La Liga. You get to see 17-year-old boys feature also for some of these clubs, and most of the big boys like the Barcelonas of this world, the Real Madrid of this world, they have the B side. Real Madrid Castilla, Barcelona B side. Even the Chukwueze we were talking about today came out from the Villarreal B team. So I think for me, when it comes to this particular group, it looks like just that group that Cameroon might not be able to make it out from. Now you look at the Argentine side also.
They might the lottery of the
best loser.
losers.
I think so. That might just be because of course that's if they can grab something. I believe they should be able to beat Tajikistan. If they can get that 3 points, then hopefully, if all things being equal, things go their way. Draw
somewhere or cause an upset in any of the two games.
Okay, cause an upset should be the word, but clearly I don't think they can get any results in this one. The Argentine side, they start from 5-6. They house these boys. Don't forget, I think a hostel was born the other time where young footballers were inside. That was in Brazil. That's to tell you the kind of investments these South American teams put into their line. You look at Lionel Messi, at what age did they see him? So if you put all these things in perspective, I don't know if Cameroon might be a match. But of course, in the under-17, most times when it comes to African teams, I don't just judge it by the pedigree of those nations. I judge it by the fact that sometimes some of these teams carry older players who can outmuscle these younger lads coming from these other countries, and it makes us deceive ourselves most times to think we are better than them. And of course, going forward, most times in life, in football, we get to see the differences later on. But I think this group for me should stand as a group of death.
Group A has the host nation, Brazil, Canada, New Zealand, and Angola. Another African interest here. What are their chances? Canada, New Zealand, and Brazil.
I think except unforeseen circumstances, Brazil will qualify, but the battle would be between New Zealand, Angola, and of course Canada. I think clearly no team there for me stands heads and shoulders above the other, but the Angolan side might be able to finish third here in Africa, ahead of our own Nigeria in the third place game. So I think they should be able to qualify from that one, be it by the best loser margin or finishing second. They should be able to make it out of that group. That group is fair enough for any team to actually make it out from. If it was even Cameroon that were in that group, I would tell you straightforwardly that they would actually make it out of that one. So I think for me, it's an open group for Angola.
What about Group D? Has Senegal, US, Japan, and Netherlands.
That's another tough group, if you ask me. It might not pass as the group of death, but it's another tough group. Now, look at the teams in that group. There are teams that have very, very strong performances when it comes to, let's leave Senegal as well. Yes, when it comes to youth competitions. Senegal themselves were not meant to be in this competition. I think the Guineans were withdrawn or so for them to come in. So
the age problem,
the age issues and all that. So I think clearly it's going to be a tough one for Senegal. Now, the United States side seem to be doing something right when it comes to youth talents. Now, we saw them in the under-20 World Cup, which Nigeria participated in. I think we shared the same group, Timothy Ware and the guys. Now, they seem to be doing something when it comes to their youth ranks. And there's something I found out they do with their system. It's just my own understanding anyway. You can prove me wrong if you think so. Now, I think some of their young stars are being acquired by teams in Europe, which is not a conventional thing that happens with the States. That's the United States. They have teams that have a league that is not as strong, but it's a growing league. Yes, the MLS, the Major League Soccer. But of course, I'm just beginning to observe that most of their youngsters, I saw that in the under-20, they were coming in from Sparta in Netherlands. They were coming in from Feyenoord. They were coming in from PSV, from Ajax, from Barcelona, from PSG. And Novak Djokovic goes to the ground top striker. I tell you, he's not going his way in this one, but there's still a lot to play for. But clearly, top striker on the case of the Senegal, US, Japan group. Now, the Japanese side, they are another team that you have to be very, very careful with when it comes to this competition. That's age grade competitions. But let's see how it pans out. I think clearly for me, Senegal has a 50-50 chance to make it out of that one, as much as they also have a 50-50 chance to go out. But on what is happening in our screens right there in Wimbledon, it just seems like I won't be shocked, top striker, if Novak retires. I don't know how.
The severity of the pains he will get from that injury, that fall.
I tell you, the way he went down just looks like he could have actually twisted or something a part of his body, and of course the camera panning through his knees and all
exactly.
that.
He's trying to pivot one leg.
Yes,
at the moment.
Yes, but top striker, even if he makes it out of this one, it might be an advantage for whoever he'll be meeting in the finals.
And of course, the fourth set is currently on, tied at 1-1, and of course, 30-all as well in that game. And of course, let's go to the phones and hear what the callers have to say. At the moment, we told you about the All England Club SW19 Wimbledon currently on as we speak. The first semi-final is currently on as we speak at the moment, and Novak Djokovic is taking on Roberto Bautista Agut. He, of course, his 2 games are 2-1 up against him. He won the first set, he lost the second, he won the third set. Right now, the fourth set is currently on as we speak, and they're both tied at 1-1. And of course, after this one, it will be the game between Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. What are your predictions for who's going to make it into the finals in the Wimbledon semi-final right there? And of course, we told you about the under-17 draws that made yesterday. Nigeria in the same group with Ecuador, Australia, right there. And of course, not forgetting, Benga Ogumbote has left Enugu Rangers. He has signed for Lobby Stars. Keep the calls coming through. Hello, good afternoon.
Top striker, Dobra.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah, Isimo.
Let's hear from you.
My name is Sele West.
Sele West, welcome.
How you doing now?
I do. How your side they go now?
I just speak Calabar, they give you, no the rest.
I understand. Just listen to greeting. Let me answer you English.
Only Ikwere there, yeah. No see you.
Ikwere how?
Well done.
Thank you.
You see this under 17 you know, that group, Cameroon, you saw Cameroon, they will come out. You see,
is it as best losers or topping the group?
No, they will qualify, not as best losers. You know, they know how to play physical football, and these boys, you know, are really under 17. Those who they are going to meet.
You know, it's not about the physicality right now. That can even work against them.
No, it's not going to work against them. You know, some of them have played in a club side in Cameroon there. You know, top club side. You know, so they are just like Nigeria. They are not really under 17, so they are going to come out. You know, this match is playing. You know, where I am, I'm not watching it. You know, but the way you are analyzing the thing is this psychological situation that is affecting Jovan Djokovic or what?
No, I don't think psychology. The guy has come out to play because he's in the semi-finals. At this point, it's anybody's game. Djokovic won the first set 6-2. The guy won the second set 6-4. Djokovic won the third set 6-3. So right now, the battle in the fourth set is intense. He has gone to the ground. His leg is not. He's trying to favor one part of his leg at the moment because the way he fell. So the guy is trying to come all out, and of course, fatigue, tiredness is also coming in as well.
So they are tied 1-1 now, eh?
No, 2-1. Djokovic is 2-1 up against him.
Okay, no, Djokovic will win the match. You know, the way he plays, he will just fight you and then wait you for the third set and fourth set, you know. So I think he's going to come out. But the one I was thinking that will come out by 4. I don't know how long this set is going to last.
In fact, it's supposed to start by 3 originally, but you have to wait until this game finishes.
Yes. So this game might even take up to 4 o'clock or 5 before it gets finished. Because it's going to be long, you know, the way I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
The set is not, so invariably, when they stop, is when the Roger and
Nadal and Federer will start.
Okay, maybe before 6, I will be back.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you
so much, Sele West, for your time on the show. Keep the calls coming through 0817 0000951 and 0810951091. Hello, good afternoon.
Top striker.
Lawson, welcome to the program.
Yes, don't blame the Rangers manager at all.
Benga Ogumbote.
Yes, you need to leave because you know we've not been campaigning well in the continent. I don't think he does not want to join that group of managers who can't compete when they go to the continent. So he doesn't want to bother himself because at the end of the day they will all return back. That's the thing. That's where his anger is. You understand? We will all struggle here, do all kinds of things. At the end of the day, we can't compete in the continent, African continent. We can't compete. Why? I don't understand what we are doing here. What football? You everywhere you turn football. But yet we can't compete. We can't go year in, year out. We go come back, nothing. Just except for Eyimba that gave us that glory the last time. And since then, how long has it been? We just can't compete. So for me, when they talk of going to the continent, I laugh because I know that it will just amount to a terrible waste of time. And Telewest is right. Cameroon, I am telling you, will come out of it. Even Africa, we lost to cheat when it comes to football. That's why at the under 17 level, Nigeria is also doing well. And at the end of the day, so where? You understand? The question is, when you are winning the under 17 at that rate, it is expected that at least you will dominate at some level.
Okay.
But which area are we dominating? So for me, I don't think that this under 17, I don't like to even discuss it. You understand? Until we begin to use the right set of people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lawson, for your time on the show. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, thank you very much.
Jerry, welcome. Let's hear from you quickly.
Jerry from Ali.
Yeah, welcome. Go ahead.
The analyst, yes, I appreciate the analysis. This, I believe Djokovic will pick the A, unless that injury might affect it. If not, would have picked the D. However, this under 17 that we continue to say that Africans are using over age players. That MIR scamming, is it not working?
It's working.
If MIR scamming is working, why are we not saying that we are seeing over age players?
But they will do the test now before the tournament starts for the African players, especially for the Africans.
So please, let us accept the MIR scammers that it is working, that is bringing out the right ages, so that what boys are fun, we will know that actually we are using the right age. All over the world, how many players that this way in under 17 actually play more at the top level compared to 100 or 1,000 that are played? So please, whatever performance we are doing before, let us use it to evaluate Nigeria that we are the best in under 17 and we are able to produce something that is good.
Okay, thank you so much, Jerry, for your time on the show. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Great.
Greet you, sir.
Thank you. Mona Timso from other states.
Mona Timso, welcome. Let's hear from you.
Thank you. I disagree, Lawson from Biafra. Under 17 of Nigeria is the best in the whole world. We have won it more than 5 times.
5 times, no more than 5 times.
Okay, thank you very much. Why the Lawson David decide that under 17? They are good.
No, what he's saying is that those people that under 17 that conquer the world are overage players. That's what he's saying.
Yes, I know. Well, let's leave that one alone. Please, top striker, Bingo Butte is Rangers, but now the Rangers don't want him again. So let him go to where he wants to get money. I agree for that. About Enyimba, can you tell me whether Osman Abdallah has been signed? We are hearing that rumor. I don't know
whether who has been signed.
That is Osman Abdallah, our coach.
No, he signed a 2-year contract now, normally to stay with the club. So for now, there's no news coming out from Enyimba at the moment. But of course, he might have to continue with the team.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
About the Eagles, can I say something?
Okay, quickly.
I don't know. Let them continue their game on Sunday. We know that they're going to beat Algeria. Let them remember that Algeria will want to revenge for how we beat them here and in their country. Thank you and have a good working day.
Thank you so much, Manachim. So hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Tom Tucker. Good evening.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How's the day going?
Thank God.
Your name and location?
I'm Kukude from Obushi.
Welcome. Let's hear from you.
Yes, I want to have the same question one of the caller asked. Do they have a separate MRI for African players that they couldn't identify overage? It's so surprising that we're talking about overage in Africa, the African players. Why the whites are given the right age?
This under 17 World Cup, Guinea were supposed to go, but they were removed because of age cheating. Their players, about 2 of their players, went to a particular tournament 2 years ago
in Asia.
They used 2 different ages. They came to under 17 tournament in Africa and they falsified their age.
And they passed the MRI.
So what is going on there? Then I will say the MRI is working. It's not working. Then they should keep it aside.
There are some people that have. I think it detects your bone, how old the bone is going to it may be within this age range. So most times, there are people that have fragile bones, no matter how old you are, the MRI may not detect it.
But could you agree with me? It's not really carrying out the function which is for. It's not really doing that. Well, that aside, I want to say the African teams will come from those groups. Angola, Cameroon, Nigeria, they all come out of those groups. And our youth team, they are really doing very well. I know they'll come out from though the Cameroonian group, they will have some difficulties getting some powerhouse out there.
Okay.
I think I want to really go to the state of this trying. I think pick up.
Thank you so much. We are grateful for that commendation right there. And of course, the wisdom, it seems Novak Djokovic is coasting home in this one. He's now 4-1 up, and of course, on 40 love against Batista Agut to get this one 5-1. It seems this is the end of the road for Batista Agut.
Well, when you have your opportunity, you must make the best of it. I think Novak has given him his chance, be it psychologically, be it mentally, be it his own flaws, but I think Novak had given him his chance. He probably should have done better with it. But the man looks like he has talked to himself and told himself to wake up before this becomes a very, very dirty and disastrous dream. So he's back in. It's 4-1 now. 5-1 now, and it just looks like this might be the end of the road exactly for Roberto. But of course, he would be impressed with his performance. This is his best ever finish in a Grand Slam tournament.
Over now to Egypt we go this afternoon, where Algeria will be without two of their key players, Yusuf Attal and Sofiane Feghouli, in Sunday's AFCON 2019 semi-final clash against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The Red Foxes defeated the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire 4-3 on penalties on Thursday to secure the passage into the last four. The game ended 1-1 in regulation time. Attal, the defender who plays for French club OGC Nice, was replaced by Mehdi Zefane in the 30th minute of the encounter after picking up an injury. He was joined on the treatment table by Feghouli, who was replaced by Andy Delors deep into stoppage time. Both players are not expected to be fit in time for the game against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The Super Eagles booked the passage into the last four following a 2-1 win against the Bafana of South Africa on Wednesday. The Nigeria versus Algeria clash will kick off at 8 p.m. on Nigerian time on Sunday at the Cairo International Stadium. Of course, meanwhile, Super Eagles coach General gave his players the opportunity to spend time with their families and friends on Wednesday night after the AFCON 2019 semi-final, quarter-final 2-1 win against South Africa. Raw announced the news to the players after dinner at the team's Le Méridien Hotel, while informing them that all the 23 players must also report for breakfast on Thursday morning. And of course, which was yesterday, the news was greeted with loud uproar from the players, who were still reeling with excitement following the win against the South Africans. The players, after a light training session on Thursday morning, were expected to begin full preparation for the semi-final game at the Champs Sports Center, Cairo, on Thursday. The three-time champions will face Algeria on Sunday by 8 p.m. The other semi-final saw Tunisia beat Madagascar by 3-0. And so on Sunday we'll see Senegal, Tunisia by 5 p.m. while Nigeria, Algeria will come up by 8 p.m. Two key players for Algeria are missing in this game. Wisdom, is this going to be a blessing in disguise for Nigeria, or just have to dig deep as well and bring other players to replace them?
Well, Top Striker, I think first it's never a good thing that 2 or 3 players or 1 or 2 players who are solid for a side, ever since the tournament began, they are out injured. But when it comes to the Algerian side, I don't think it would make too much of a difference. Coming from our own perspective as Nigerians, that's the Nigerian team, we shouldn't pay much attention into that. They still have decent players. We know Riyad Mahrez, everybody knows him. Yassin Brahimi of FC Porto. We also know him. Adam Onas of Napoli, we know him, and Islam Slimani, yes, of Leicester City. So you look at these players and ask yourself, they still have 1 or 2 names who could actually push you to the very end. Mehdi Zefani, another young man who very interested in that too. He plays in Rennes in France. These are quite decent names, if you ask me, and the game against Madagascar that Algeria did have, I think whatever happened does not represent for me the true outcome of that game. The Madagascans gave their all. I saw a team that were really, really willing to fight. At some point, the first goal was a deflection, a shot in by the Algerian side, and of course, a deflection from the backside of the Madagascan player, and it actually distracted the goalkeeper, and it was in the back of the net. It psychologically affected them, and before they could find themselves in again, they considered the second goal. They continued fighting. I saw a team that did not lay down to the very end, and I tell you, this Madagascan team, they build on their success in this tournament, they could come back better in the future.
And of course, I'll be throwing more lights on this in the program tomorrow. But of course, given the players time to see their friends and families, to what extent would this help the boys to come back going forward ahead of the semi-final clash?
The news and the press people shouldn't have heard this, because let me tell you what will happen. If Nigeria loses on Sunday, people will call and tell you that they were going to their families. Yes. So I think they deserve it, if you ask me. They've been playing ever since, and if they were able to conquer the quarterfinal encounter, seeing your family might not be much. But of course, I think he allowed them. That means they spent the night with their families and their wives, which is a very good thing, but might not be too perfect at times because of the distractions that come with it. But good enough, he told them to report on Thursday morning, at least to keep their minds relaxed and also focused. By Thursday morning, they should be back, and hopefully they have returned already, and hopefully they should be preparing as we speak for that game on Sunday.
And of course, Novak is serving for the match right there. And of course, at the Wimbledon, of course, some tidbits coming out this afternoon where former England striker Peter Crouch has ended his playing career age 38 after more than 21 years as a professional. Former Portsmouth, Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Stoke striker was out of contract at Burnley. In June, Crouch played for a total of 11 clubs and earned 42 England caps right there. And of course, Peter Crouch scored 108 goals in 468 top flight games and won the FA Cup in 2005-2006 with Liverpool, and played in the Champions League final in 2007 as part of Rafael Benitez's side. And of course, I'll be doing more on this man tomorrow in the afternoon program, which starts from 1 to 4 p.m. And of course, let's go to the phone lines and hear what the callers have to say this afternoon. Of course, I will tell you about the Super Eagles preparation for the game against Algeria come Sunday, why they will be Senegal up against Tunisia. Big one, where will the pendulum swing? And of course, getting raw, giving the players time out with their friends and family. To what extent will this help the team going forward ahead of that clash on Sunday? Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, I greet you, Top Striker Obina.
Obina, welcome.
Greet you to Obina.
Top Striker, who is the coach of that under-17 team?
Manu Garba.
Manu
Garba, yes. Ndiko Agbade is the assistant.
Hey, Jesus. Thank God that you told them. I was calling in to tell our brother that MIRO test already. You've already done that. Yes, it does not dictate age. It's bold.
It's bold, yeah.
It's bold. So I totally agree with nothing. We carry over 8 players here to go and muzzle the people, and we think we are improving. It doesn't dictate age. My bone now, I can pass for that MIRO test because I have a fragile bone. I can pass for that test. Talking about Ganetro, I don't understand this kind of jamboree, Top Striker. What I say is a very good one. How good? This team has not been playing very well. They don't deserve any of this.
Go and gather your facts and your stats. Tomorrow we do justice on that. We don't have enough time for that this afternoon.
Jamboree is this?
Okay, thank you so much. Obina from Orazi. Keep the calls coming through. Let's get to hear from you this afternoon. What do you make about the Super Eagles are preparing for the game against Algeria come Sunday by 8 p.m. Who lost that call? You have to call us back 0817 00951 and 0810 9510951 0817 00951 and 0810 9510951. Of course, Nigeria up against Algeria on Sunday 8 p.m. and Tunisia will do battle with Senegal by 5 p.m. same time by 5 p.m. on Sunday as well. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Europe. I'm calling from you.
Europe, welcome. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, how will a coach sign a 1-year contract and the club allow him to sign a 1-year contract?
It's possible now.
What will that coach do in 1 year?
He will coach in 1 year.
It's even the club that are happy that it's 1 year.
If somebody have a long time plan, it's not 1 year. It's from 3 years, 4, 5 years.
If he doesn't do well, the club can easily let him go from there.
It's not a serious coach. Thank you.
Thank you so much. He thinks he's not a serious coach. Hello, good afternoon.
The coach allowed the players to go and meet their families.
Yes, family and friends.
And return back. Thursday immediately.
Exactly.
Hope not a female family.
And that's the point. That's where me I have issues.
We just had family and friends.
They will lose that match.
I'm telling you, that's the part.
Okay, that's according to Stella West. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother. I greet you.
Welcome. Let's hear from you.
Yes. Somebody should tell Jonathan to not be overjoyous or too happy. For all I care, we played one game, and it's against Cameroon. And we've just won that one game. South Africa, Burundi, Madagascar, shamefully we lost. Those ones are not games we should be bragging about. We just played one game, in my own opinion. That one game, in my own opinion, that is against Cameroon. And the next game will be coming against Nigeria. He should know that if he doesn't win his AFCON, Ola.
Okay, thank you so much. And of course, there's no guarantee anywhere that he will be sacked by the NFF. As should Nigeria not win this one right there. And of course, the third deuce right there, Novak Djokovic trying to pick up against Batista Agut. And of course, that's 7 for the match right there. Hello, good afternoon. Last caller for the day.
Hello, listen. Good thing to be last caller, Cookie Day, calling from Christian.
Let's say from you quickly.
Well, I want to say Nigeria will win Nigeria by 2-1 on Sunday. Well, Conroy is a coach that I don't so much like because he doesn't have the exact tactics to kind of organize or galvanize these players. They are just giving their efforts to talk about individual strength and performances. He needs to go for more training and learning as regards his coaching rather.
Okay.
So I would say he should really know how to use the players he has. He has them there in his good players, attackers, midfielders, defenders. They need to really make good use of them.
Okay. Thank you so much for being the last caller on the day this afternoon. Of course, they have Novak Djokovic is home and dry. He has won this one right there, 6-2. Wisdom quickly.
Yes, Barcelona have announced the signing of Antoine Griezmann, while Atletico are arguing that the amount of the clause was not paid completely.
We shall be doing more justice on this tomorrow from 1 to 4 p.m. If not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sport. Emmanuel Tiboza, signing out.
Are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
This is what we've waited for. The showdown. The fastest men in the world.
Hearts racing.
1 light, 2 lights. They're backing off and backing.
Pulse rising.
Who will come out on top? Who'll take 3 lights, 4 lights. He's ready to be the star.
Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
All right, good afternoon. Here's the news update, and today 95.1 FM. I am Kala Dakarubasubo. Reports have it that some witnesses heading to the presidential election petition tribunal sitting in Abuja to testify against President Muhammadu Buhari and the All Progressives Congress (ABC) have been attacked and injured by armed bandits. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) and its presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar revealed these to the Justice Mohammed Gaba-led 5-member panel tribunal shortly before further hearing on their petition against the outcome of the February 23 presidential election was adjourned till Monday. Justice Gaba consequently adjourned proceedings in the matter till Monday, July 15. Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps Boboye Oyeyemi has said the Corps, in conjunction with other security agencies, will from August 1 go all out against all motorcycle and tricycle operators that are unregistered and without driver's license. He said the enforcement was in line with statutory traffic rules and regulations that mandated all operators of motorcycles and tricycles to obtain a Class A driver's license and be registered to pay road tax. Speaking in Ibadan during a road safety stakeholders workshop organized by the University of Wolverhampton, United Kingdom, Oyeyemi vowed that the full weight of the law will be brought upon all motorcycle and tricycle operators who fail to comply with the directive. The Muslim Rights Concern has written a petition to President Muhammadu Buhari calling on him to ensure that the federal government stops the airing of the 2019 edition of the reality television show Big Brother Naija. Murik, which expressed disgust at the show, said the airing of the 2019 edition of the Big Brother Naija reality show should be shut down immediately. In a statement issued by its director, Professor Ishaq Akintola, the Muslim group labeled the reality show as immoral, dangerous, and bohemian, and also wondered why the Ministry of Information and Culture and the National Orientation Agency are doing nothing over the show. The group also condemned the quest for wealth by the youths, which according to them has led to immorality, internet fraud, ritual killings, and other vices. The paramount ruler of Rumekini community in Obiakpo local government area of River State, Eze Louis Amadi Wali, has warned one Chibuzo DK to stop parading himself as the youth president of the community. Eze Amadi Wali, who was reacting to the announcement by Chibuzo DK over the burial of a young man who was murdered in the community, cautioned members of the public to be careful of who they transact with. The Rumekini monarch said he has since dissolved DK and his group as youth leaders and appointed Peter Job as the youth president of the community, warning that anyone doing business with DK and his group does so at their own risk.
That useless boy is not my workers. It's not a youth leaders that I don't sack him. He not work with me. It's not my youth president. It's not working with me. In short, it's not from making at all.
On his part, the Rumekini youth president, Peter Job, insisted that Chibuzo DK is an impersonator and called on the police to investigate those causing trouble in the community.
Like the Highness has rightly said, I've said it before, I didn't force myself into office. You are here now in the palace. The Highness has told you, anybody parading himself as the youth president of the community without the consent of the Royal Highness.
Communities in Kana local government area of River State have lamented the lack of potable water and power supply and the abandonment of their primary health care center for over 50 years. The primary health care center, which is situated in Bain community, the traditional headquarters of Ken Kana district of Kana local government area, have left people of Lubara, Duburo, Kapien, Pue, Kazo, and Terroir communities who depend on the health care center during childbirth and other health issues. Some villagers who spoke with our correspondent, Sandra Kenneth, lamented the high rate of mortality, especially during birth, due to lack of primary health care centers, which has been dysfunctional in the community for many years. Mrs. Tanik Winam, who said many women have died from complications during delivery as they resort to giving birth at home because the hospital are inaccessible.
What we are lacking in this community is health center. We women, we are suffering. During our childbearing, we rush from here to Bori because there is no health center. We lost our children. Many of our pregnant women died taking them to Bori when labor is starting. And now we need help. We want the governor or the government to help us and give us health center so that it can enable some of us to work and our women will be alive with our children.
Also speaking, the community youth leader Richard Nwuke pleaded with the government to attend to their security need. The paramount ruler of Bain community, His Royal Highness Mene of Bain community, Daniel Windak, further lamented that being an oil-producing community, the people have not felt the impact of government in their area, adding that the community also lacks water and adequate power supply.
We want development in this area. This is an oil-producing area. This is Yola community, one of the Yola communities, and we produce oil in this place, but there is no sign, nothing to write home about. Nobody talks about this area. We produce the oil, but we are suffering. So we expect the government to look at this thing and help the area.
Meanwhile, correspondent Sandra Kenneth, who visited by Lubara, Duboro, Kapien, Pua, Kazo, and Terroir communities, said she could not access the health center as it had been taken over by bushes. A South African court has acquitted Duduzane Zuma, the son of former President Jacob Zuma, of manslaughter charges over a fatal late-night car crash in 2014. Duduzane, aged 35, had pleaded not guilty at the magistrate's court in Johannesburg to causing the death of Fumzile Dube after his Porsche hit a minibus. One woman died in the crash. 3 others were injured and others died in hospital weeks later. Magistrate Tibogo to Pats Lasse said the state had failed to prove the manslaughter charges beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's the sides of the package at 4. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned to Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. I am Kala Dakwerubatwar. Good afternoon.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.